Testing. Hello. The chat right now. Are we live?
We are live. Hi
Okay.
everybody. Welcome to Puzzle Wednesday. This is your unexpected introduction by Bird Up. It's Wednesday, it's 8:30, and it's time for Magical Drop. And I'm joined here by Decafumo Death Cult and Kai
Hello.
at 7.
Hello.
So if you are unaware, this is a qualifier for what we're calling Magidoro Masters. We have a finale event coming up next month, so this is one of the last chances for all of our beautiful Magical Drop players to earn some big points and secure their spot for the big money tournament next month.
Okay, my mic is fixed again.
Okay, we fixed Juicy's mic, so now the
Yay.
real MC will take over.
I think he more or less said everything I needed to, so.
Great. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to start with a couple of matches. I believe the first one will involve our very own Dekafuma Death Call and another longtime Puzzle Wednesday veteran whose name I always struggle to pronounce.
Runespism.
Runespism.
Oh, is the E not silent?
I believe,
Please.
yeah, Rune, and then Spism, yeah. But we're not here for that. We're here for Magical Drop. We got a long night ahead of us. As some banger matches. Let's get one of these on the road.
Speaking of banger, I'd really like to commend you for the new uppy downy art that is now visible on stream.
Oh, I thank you. Yes, I did draw this one in addition to the a couple previously, and one later in the month that I will stay silent on for the time being, but it's also a banger.
Yeah, I love the callback here to Marvel vs. Capcom. Is this Marvel vs. Capcom 1?
This is X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Oh, X-Men versus Street Fighter.
It's the
See, that's how
handshake.
little I know. Yeah,
Ryu and Cyclops.
yeah.
I may have gone over most everyone else has had to get High Priestess to be the MD3 rep, but I'm the one paying the money, so I can do it.
Fair. I mean, to be fair though, if you look at the results in the welcome channel of our Magical Drop Discord, she is tied with 3 other characters for the most favorite votes. So it's her, I mean my favorite Death, Star, and Judgment who have the most votes. So really, it's not too much of a stretch to say that she could be our representative. Plus, like Ryu, who I think is that half of the handshake, she's in all the games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so she's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to just put somebody who's only in Magical Drop 3. They don't have the longevity and the legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they wanted me to draw someone else, you know what? Hit me up. I'm Kai at 7 on all the social medias. I do commission.
It's true.
And you know what? I'm probably going to have to do that because I am now in need of hitbox art, as I've decided. So you may hear from me when I'm back from Genesis if I have some tournament dates.
Alright. It took me a second to load in, and Deck is already up 2 rounds. Jeez.
Oh, if it's not on stream, okay. There we go.
Okay, yeah, there we are on. That was 3. Yep.
Okay.
That was round 1.
As a note, do not see it on the stream.
Yeah, it is. The stream is not live.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the splash screen right now.
It's gonna take a minute. I set stream to have a delay start from now on to be a little bit friendlier to my internet bandwidth and bitrate. So it will catch up.
Okay. Then here we are. We're in game 2. So for those of you at home who may not have watched our tournaments before, every match we're going to have is a mirror match. So the players will be playing the same character. The reason we do that is some of the characters are really good, and some of the characters are really not good, based on the pattern in which they drop the orbs in their trash. So instead of just skewing the metagame to a few really good characters, we've decided it's a lot more fun if you can play the same character as your opponent, so you can play somebody anywhere on the tier list. So rather than just picking the strong characters, we have people who specialize in all sorts of sections of the tier list. Maybe they're like mid-tier players, maybe they're high-tier players, maybe they play Fool for whatever reason, and it gives us a lot more diversity in the metagame. And I think both players needed to stop comboing, and RuneSpism's going to win that round because of it.
Yes, it's one of those things that I always hear about tasers, but I don't believe is true. That, you know, they say, like, in order to be auzed to use one, they have to tase you first. And I imagine that is how the metagame is treated in this regard, is that if you want to use Tower, then you have to be prepared to have Tower used against you.
That is certainly the case, and I think, you know, when I play a lot of newer players, because I try to, you know, be an ambassador and play whoever's wants to play, I have a lot of folks who are new to the game who pick high tiers against me, and they very quickly learn that they probably actually don't want to be playing high tiers against me, and that they'd be a lot better off playing a mid-tier and having more time to learn and adapt and practice. So it seems RuneSpism doing very well on these mid-tier characters here. So after a quick 3-0 on Magician, it's looking like they're going to take this round too. Yeah, there you go. So they're up to quick 2 rounds on Sun. So I guess, again, for folks who aren't necessarily Magical Drop watchers all the time, rounds are ending because we have what's called the quota. It's that number in the middle of the screen. And it counts down every time you would pop a bubble on your side. When you hit 0, you win, regardless of where your board state is or what your opponent's at. So for these characters like Sun and a lot of the mid-tiers, it's very rare that anybody's going to actually get pushed off the board unless they make like a really tragic mistake. A lot of the time these games are going to go to quota, and the goal is to try to beat your opponent there, and the strategy sort of revolves around not sending trash for the most part, because it just makes it easier for your opponent to reach quota. So you want to keep your combos really short on these characters to try to avoid sending trash to your opponent. It seems Deco was able to figure their stuff out that round and win with a pretty sizable quota lead. But I've been told, and I think maybe the Puzzle Wednesday folks can let me know if this is true, is that RuneSpism is somebody who just kind of figures out every versus game very quickly.
Yeah.
Not necessarily having a specialty.
He's definitely multi-talented. I would say Pedal Crash is the specialty game, but, like, it's hard to find something he's not going to end up in top 8 for, at least.
Right.
Like, he takes me to my limit in Yoko, so that's all I know.
I was talking to Xerxes.
He's well versed in a lot of stuff.
And his thought was that there's, like, general fundamentals for most versus puzzlers that carry over really well between them. He didn't really elaborate, so maybe one of you has more deets than me for that. But it would make sense to me that if you've played a lot of these styles of games, it's really easy for you to pick up the new ones if you could kind of make a corollary to one that you've played before.
Like, I get it. I have a hard time with the venerable uppy-downy genre, but, like, to me, even if it's not one for one, this is a game that I recommend to people I know play panel first, due to a lot of similar kind of decision-making in DNA and, like, the active chaining. Like, you're not gonna obviously translate what you know over from one to the other, but, you know, a little bit of practice with that background is gonna go a lot more faster than, say, someone that's only good at Puyo transitioning to a game like this.
Yeah. Having the fast hands and, like, the lack of inhibition, where you're not spending time doing nothing, is really critical for this game, and I think some of the other uppy-downy games, like Money Puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention is the base mechanics kind of, you know, they make casual play the foolproof. Like, you just collect just all the same color things that your little clown dude has reach for, and then, like, you put them up and, like, assuming you have 3 of them, they automatically set off a chain. And then it's just figuring out where that chain is most effectively placed and how you can quickly build the next one.
You'll hear a lot of squeaking coming out of Dekafuma's side of the board. And for those of you who might not be aware, what's going on is where he's utilizing a technique that we call mash moving. So if you hold the direction and you just spam the pickup button as fast as you can, you will sort of warp across the board and pick up all of the color that you're currently holding as you move across the board. And it'll make that little squeaky sound every time you try to pick up something that you're not holding right now. So if I'm holding blue and I try to pick up a green, it'll make that little squeak noise. But you'll see him use it for that left to right movement when he's moving from one side of the board all the way to the other side. It's a really good technique that a lot of our higher level players use. And it tends to pay dividends in just keeping up with crazy patterns like this one. High Priest is one of the...
You are in no way penalized for trying to pick up the wrong color, aside from the fact that you can't.
Yeah. And the fact that it kind of lets you just skip over them while you're mash moving, it makes it a lot easier if you're trying to go back and forth really quickly on a really jagged pattern.
Bird Up, do you have chat open?
I do on, wait, which chat? Sorry, I'm in Discord chat, and I'm in Fightgate chat, and I'm in Twitch chat. Which chat?
Twitch chat. Dan Almighty is asking, how do you see a character's special powers? They all seem the same. Or seem the same.
That is a good question. And I believe that match just wrapped up, so we had Deca take it over RuneSpism. But those last 2 games were really close, actually. They both went to round 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, interested to get Deca's take on the matter when he returns.
I was very surprised he took me to Sun, and then I was very surprised when he went up 2 rounds in a row at Sun. Because the last time we played, he actually had a solid number on me on the high tiers, and then I was hooking on the low tiers. But he pulled a fast one on me and almost caught me off guard. I really had to switch my mindset playing it as Sun. But I think I figured something out there at the end.
So I guess to answer that question in the chat from Dan Almighty about the character special powers, so it all comes down to the shape and the color combination of the trash they send to you. So if you play Puzzle Fighter at all, the kind of color combination you're used to, different characters will have different assortments of bubbles that they'll drop on you or colored gems. The shapes are character to character dependent. There's no way to view them from the menu. You just kind of have to know. So we share in our Discord all of the different drop shapes. And I'd say there's probably 3 or 4 main shapes, and most characters fall into one of those 3 or 4 shapes.
There's you have a spire in the middle, which is most of the mid and low tiers. You have spires that are not all the way on the edges, but not in the middle either, and there's usually 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And then you have a V are the 3 main patterns.
Yeah, and then there's completely flat for some of the worst characters.
Yeah, some of the worst characters and one of the best characters.
Yeah.
The big difference there is that the color of the orbs, or the pattern of the color of the orbs, is very important as well.
Yeah. Some people, they just won't send you enough trash for you to make a real match. Father Strength is probably the biggest offender there.
Yeah, Father Strength notorious for pretty much any point in his garbage. If he sends you damage, you probably have to dig. You have to shuffle something around just to be able to match something, unless you saved orbs.
Right. There's other characters who also punish you really hard for leaving stranded orbs, right? So if one of your bubbles is blue and you don't have 2 or 3 others to match with it, it'll take a while for more blue to show up on the board. So stranding an orb just ends up making it really hard for you to dig through your pattern and sort it out.
Yeah, a couple of the characters have this weird checkerboarded pattern, and they're notorious for that.
Yeah.
World, Empress, Hanged Man, I'll send this checkerboard pattern, and if you run out of blue orbs on that pattern, those blue orbs are going to sit around for a while.
Yeah, a real long time.
Okay. Bird Up, you're staying on mic for a little bit?
Sure.
Because we've changed the route of stream matches due to a couple of drops and a little bit of technical difficulties on someone's winner side run.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Just let me know which match we're queuing into next.
We should be getting DGGG, yeah. So, they...
Not the kind of drops I wanted to see tonight, but the show must go on.
True. Well, look, it's unfortunate, but, you know, it happens. This is everyone's last chance to get points outside of one last tournament in the IRL space.
Yeah, if they want to fly to Northern California tomorrow. My plane is I have to leave for the airport at 4 in the morning today. So
Damn, dude.
It's gonna be rough, yeah.
Alright, looks like we have Digi Darts match starting up.
Yep. So both of these players, I haven't seen them, to my knowledge, enter one of the Magical Drop events so far. So I'm really interested to see the level that they're at and like the characters that they gravitate towards.
Darts, to my knowledge, just set up Fight K today. So, okay. I don't know how much player versus player experience they have.
Well, they seem to do a pretty good job. They kept their board really clean. They didn't do anything too aggressive, like pushing it out and giving themselves extra rows. But as long as you're keeping it clean on the back end and staying alive longer, it's not really too much of a problem.
Yeah, Magician is a character that can be a bit of a double-edged sword, pulling up too many lines, because he sends flat lines that are really easy to clear, and they keep your board really neat. Yeah, so, if you can stay low on the low board.
Mild question, and I don't know if I'm the only one noticing this, but, like, Darts hasn't actually self-drawn any lines. I don't know if they know that button exists. They're just kind of playing this, like, Magical Drop 2.
Yeah. They're kind of just hanging out, and I saw there's a couple times where they've also just paused and waited for trash to flow in.
Exactly. Like,
Paying off early here.
Yeah.
Their fundamentals are strong, but like I wonder, I really wonder what their background is at this point. Then.
Yeah, I mean maybe they are like a lot of people have been playing Magical Drop 2 because it's the one that's free with your Switch subscription.
It's true.
So I've talked to people recently who are like,
that's
oh,
right,
I've played Magical Drop. I've played the one that's on Switch. And I was like, oh, well, we played the one after that, but that one's still really helpful. Like, I learned to play in Magical Drop 2 initially. Just because I liked what the art looked like.
Fair
With
enough.
your Nintendo Online subscription, you can play Magical Drop 2 on the go or at your home on a Nintendo Switch.
Alright.
That's where I started playing...
I didn't think I would have a chance to do that voice today.
There's always time for a bit.
That's where I started playing Panel to Pawn, too.
I didn't know you played Panel to Pawn.
I'm not good at it.
I'm also not good at it.
It's fun. It's one of those games that, like, my girlfriend likes puzzle games, but she doesn't want to have to keep up with me in Magical Drop, so we play, like, Money together, and we play Panel to Pawn together, where it's, like, a little closer, and we can have even matches.
That's fun.
She's not bad at Magical Drop. She's actually pretty good. I think she'd be able to take games and tournament off with some folks, but, you know, it's one thing when you just get stuck playing against me all the time.
When your opponent is one of the best players in your country, you'll probably get better at a game. Right. Digi doing a little bit better managing the pattern, but Darts with a quota lead.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I wasn't looking at Darts that time. I don't know if they were pulling lines or if they were just relying on trash being sent to them.
Oh, okay. There we go. Darts with the quota there. That was a close one.
I think you're like a couple of seconds behind Decade.
Yeah, Dart's still not pulling lines, but doing a very good job of setting up multi-clears, which are very efficient in terms of speed. obviously, every match you the fewer matches you take to get to 200, the faster you'll get to quota. So,
yeah,
they've definitely got a. They're not playing aggressively, but they're playing very smart.
Yeah, they're very optimized when it comes to like clearing what they do have. So I'm gonna be interested to see if they can make it through winners here, them playing against like a more seasoned Magical Drop veteran and dealing with a little bit more intense pressure. Because they have the 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
So we
It
saw
starts winning.
pick a mid-tier there, and I was going to say, are they going to stick with the mid-tier, or are they going to try to go a little bit higher up the ladder?
Oh boy. Okay, so the guns are coming out.
Yeah.
Water Strength, one of probably I would say, the strongest non-secret character.
Yeah, for sure.
Just very jagged pattern. It's got 3 spires.
Yeah.
In the second, fourth, and 6th column.
Yeah. So the main play, in my opinion, with her is that you want to do your clears in the rows where the trash isn't coming from, and that's like a lot of characters, but her especially because of how jagged the pattern is.
You can get a lot of value by throwing like 6 or 7 orbs down one of those chutes, and it will clear the walls on both sides.
Right.
So it's a good way to get your board management going.
I've honestly never seen such a passive playstyle work out, and I am very intrigued.
Yeah, Darts isn't really even focusing on the 2-chain aspect, which is another thing that is fairly common on characters like this. The fastest way to send orbs is to limit your chains to 2 at a time, because there's a big jump in the number of lines you send from 1 to 2, but then you only get around 1 extra line per chain link after that.
Right.
Oh, Darts is going to take it.
Yeah. So that was interesting. I'm very excited to see these two players as they continue through bracket. Darts, tough draw. I mean, you're going to go into the real fire having to play Templanza in the next round, advancing through winners.
It'd be a fun to watch at least.
Yeah. I don't know if that one's going to be on stream, but I'm definitely going to go back and see the VOD to see like that conservative play style against somebody who is kind of a nut.
Yeah, Templanza's incredibly aggressive.
Yeah.
Davi, if you're listening, what is StreamRad at this point?
I believe Shelto Cusick and Lamo
yes.
is going to be next. I think that will be a fun match to
Correct.
watch.
I'll need Bird up off stream though.
Okay.
Okay, I can play off stream.
Okay, so...
Did we ever find Cosmic?
I don't think so.
Mm.
Look, some people want to
Yeah,
stay
that
lost.
is one aspect of Fightcade that often goes unlooked, but all of these matches and any of the matches that will be played for this tournament, or any of them that have been done through Fightcade for that matter, the replays for them are all available on the Fightcade page under the replays tab.
Yeah.
So you can go,
back from
pick out some new
too.
strats, scoop out the competition,
The entire bracket is on demand.
Yeah, the archive also I don't think ever expires.
Yep.
You can even create save states and just figure out how would you
Oh, you can?
how would you handle this situation. I believe so.
You can lab defense. That's sick. I didn't know that.
I think it was mentioned for one of the for a different Fightcade.
Rats was
really
able to
wish I
do it
remember.
for Cleopatra Fortune.
Yes, it was.
Okay, I have to
But I'm sure that can apply too.
We have Lamel and Sheltopus on stream currently.
Oh, I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I'll try to play my match and get back in time to see that because I think that's gonna be good.
All right.
Just as a note for you guys, Sheltopusik, I don't really know how to say their name.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever entered a tournament before, but I've played them numerous times and they've taken me to the brink many times. They're really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how they perform.
Yeah, the first time I ran into Sheltopusik, they insta-picked Daughter Strength, and I was like, oh, it's another, like, new-ish player who's played just enough to know that Daughter Strength is the strongest character, and they're trying to mise some easy wins off of other newer players. And then they obliterated me. I was like, oh. And then within 2 or so days, they had reached B rank. So I was like, oh, well, I guess they just wanted to get their rank real quick, and then now they will play normal matches. But they're very good. Lamel is notable for being probably the best European player, other than maybe Twinkler, who is... I'm not sure who is the better Magical Drop player. I think Lamel's the better Magical Drop player, and Twinkler is the better Money Isle Exchanger player. Lamel getting a little bit stuck in the Magician's pattern isn't particularly hard to clear and keep yourself alive. He's like an upper mid-tier, I'd say. But that's only if you manage his pattern well. If you don't manage his pattern properly, you get tangled up at the top of the board, stuck making these really awkward matches 3 at a time. And your opponent will just run away with quota while you're doing that. Or you can get these giant clears and just wipe out half your board in one go. Yeah, that huge swing winning Lamel the game there. Almost stranding a couple of orbs, but managing to recover back into the flat lines in the back that I mentioned earlier. Sheltopusik sitting now at midboard as the damage starts to roll in, but doing a good job of just scanning back and forth across the top and dumping off into side rows and getting those big full line clears as well. Lamel managing to take the second round with a third round with another solid. Oh, I know that was game 4 or round 4. Lamel takes the first game. Okay. Death is an interesting character because at first glance you wouldn't think Death is a high tier character. Fairly flat pattern, medium damage strength, so doesn't send as many orbs as a lot of the other high tier characters, and the colors come out in these nice groups of 3, so you wouldn't think that it's a pattern that has dangerous pressure. But if you manage the pattern wrong, you can get this giant flat sheet of ice, and like 6 or 7 lines of ice will roll in all at once, and you'll be stranded at the top of your board with no orbs to match. And it's very hectic.
Yes, ice blocks, for those who don't know, those are blocks that need to be cleared twice?
So they don't need to be cleared twice, but you can't make a match with the orbs while they're frozen. Matching anything next to them will unfreeze them, and if you match the same color, if it's colored ice, it will just clear.
Oh, cool. I did not know that.
So Lamel maintaining a very strong hold over the pattern, keeping that the one low part of Death's pattern is that center column, and it's really important to preventing the sheets of ice from rolling in. Is keeping that column empty so you can get like clears that have branches to keep the rest of your board in line.
Oh, I'm just joining back in, and the score is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, Lamel's on fire right now. We are going into now a high tier.
Who's the previous character?
The previous character was Death, actually.
Ooh, okay.
And we did not see any of the iconic ice sheets, unfortunately.
You know, when the going gets tough, Latin America picks high tiers, so we'll see if Strafe will work out.
This is the character I best know Shelto Cusick for, because when I first ran into them, I don't know if you were here for that, but I thought they were just like a beginner player because they did the insta-pick daughter strength and try to two-chain you out. And then that first round, it's just, okay, it's a new person, I'll just two-chain them. And then it's like the round is going, and the round is still going, and the round is still going. Yeah. And I'm looking over, and they're like all the way at the top, the board is like empty. And I was like, oh no, I'm in for a ride.
They're scary.
I have a feeling that ride.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We are in for a ride right now. It appears like in addition to all of us, like, there's going to be quite a number of people spectating this match.
Yeah.
More than are talking on here, so people are seeing this is it's a real barn burner.
I think
whose barn is getting burned is that's a question waiting to be answered.
So now from high tier to low tier, I believe Lamel is trying to press the advantage that they had on the other quota characters.
This is close to where I would go to, probably. I definitely want to slow this game down.
So Lamel's getting a little bit caught up in the middle. Shelto Cusick is just running away with the quota on this one.
Yeah. That big red clear, though, right here from Lamel, that should hopefully catch them back up.
Yeah, that about evened it up. And there's a big yellow clear and another big red clear on the way.
Yeah. Oh, but Shelto has they had the crystal, but I don't even know if using the rainbow crystal there would have been a good idea. It would have taken a really long time to resolve. Also, we haven't had anybody use the ice trick yet. We spent so much time talking about it after the last tournament. Nothing so far.
Yeah, that's not Cosmic. It's whose signature thing is that? Scherzo, yeah. That's their signature maneuver, kind of.
I have tried it in many games since then, and almost every time it has gone extremely poorly for me.
I've pulled it off once or twice, but it was mostly like a spur of the moment thing, and it was like because I was all the way at bottom board and had time to like think to do it, so it wasn't like a big swing or anything.
Yeah, it's really scary to go for it when you're really under pressure.
It's also the higher you are on, or the more orbs there are on screen, the harder it is to do because the orbs don't go as far. You have less time to buffer it.
For those of you following along at home, the trick Deck and I are talking about is you can put ice on top of like a clear that's currently resolving, and then pick the ice up really quickly. And if you do it with the correct timing, it decides that it'll just destroy every orb on your board in like succession. So it'll clear every color as if you used every colored rainbow bubble at once. It's really funky. It takes a really long time, but if you're playing a character that you don't think you're going to go to quota and you just want to live, it has some cool uses.
It can also be useful on characters that have the really awkward color patterns.
Right.
Like if they're all checkerboarded and you're not making big matches bigger than 3 anyway, it can be really nice to pull off on one of those.
Also, nice job there by Lamel taking the win over Shelter Pusick. I think that was probably our first big clash of the bracket so far.
Yeah, a little bit of an upset too.
Yeah. I would honestly kind of say so. That was not the result that I expected, but nice work by Lamel. Really showing that they deserve that spot that they currently are holding in the top 8 rankings for Majora Masters.
Alright, we're just waiting for... Oh.
You're probably up. Probably going to be you and Lee in it.
Yeah, it's going to be you and Lee in it. So,
okay.
Do we want Deca's match off stream or on stream?
My match will probably not be entertaining.
Okay, so can I quickly get you to run off stream?
Yes, I can quickly run mine against Rudolph.
Alright.
Donate.
So you want me to play Lee in it now, or are we going to wait for after Deca's match so that I can stay on comms?
You can go ahead.
Okay.
We can hold down for it.
Okay. I will send... I'll wait for the match call in the Discord, but I will. I think I have an idea for an illustration, Kayat. I want to run it by you. I was thinking about this while I was playing. Like, you know the salad cat meme? The woman yelling at the cat who's just sitting by the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe we get two of the women from Magical Drop. Maybe it's like Death and I don't know somebody else, Fortune, and they're yelling at both Fool and his cat, who are both sitting in front of little tiny plates.
Ooh, that's very good.
Right? Yeah, I'm feeling it. I think that would be fun. Okay, I will send my challenge to Leonid, and I'm going to mute myself again, but I will rejoin you afterwards.
All right. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you. My premonition here is that I will probably win Magician, and then we're going to play some high tiers, and we'll see how those go.
Alrighty then.
I've been wrong before, and we'll see if that's true this time.
I can't imagine thinking about like a drawing idea during mid-set. Most because I can't imagine thinking during this game.
My game plan during this game is generally my eyes look for colors and my brain hopes that my hands can follow.
But like, how actively... Holy shit. Okay. So, big ice damage should be incoming for Leonid, but he only has like 2 blocks? Question mark? Man, I really don't understand how much... So ice is supposed to be... If you do a single pop with a ton of materials, that's what's going to generate it. But I have no idea what the conversion rate is, because I thought I saw a number of things that are supposed to be, like, comically big. But,
The way it generally works is there's a function hidden in the game where it converts the number of orbs and the number of chains in your combo into like an attack value, and then that attack value pulls from a table that determines the order of normal and ice lines you get.
Deca, be honest with me right now in this moment here.
Yeah?
Are you explaining this during your set?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
This game is very ungood. You don't actually have to think that hard during it. And I
Fair
like
enough.
explaining things.
I appreciate it. Well, biggest kind of question in Bird Up's prediction is going to be, he thought he was going to be taken to high tiers, but he is very much primed to actually be able to... Nope, actually never mind, my brain broke and forgot how counter picks work. So he's very much think he's going to win the first set and suffer through high tier for the rest of the match. Huh? Are we getting the hint of the reverse 3-0? Runespism, MD3 damage is random. Don't listen to anyone who claims there's any kind of formula.
I'm inclined to believe that.
Okay. I mean,
Proven otherwise.
I am not inclined to contest that, but like, is there some reason that potentially rings more true there?
It's a puzzle game.
Yeah, sometimes bullshit can just happen, I suppose. So actually, side question, since I've not gotten to play a lot of verses of it, is how is damage calculated in physical gestures, actually? Elaborating before we get too belabor on a point, if you've not played physical gestures before, that's Kaya at 7's money puzzle and also magical drop clone. You should give it a try sometime. Yeah, no, I'm curious.
That might be something I had to look up, but...
Unless you actually count your exact number of orbs you clear, you really can't predict what you'll send. Weird. Kind of strange to have such a obtrusive element be kind of tied to potentially random circumstance, but oh well. Bird Up really holding on to blue erases, managed to set it off. How does anything actually work? Something Stardust. The Big Bang happened many years ago, and now we have puzzle games.
Oh yeah, that... Sorry, the delay is killing me. I don't know if it's like a Mac thing or whatever.
Oh, on your spectating?
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say. Sometimes it just comes down to a matter of like how much stuff you have running in the background. Usually because I'm hosting stream, it'll be a little bit behind the other commentators, but that's just an acceptable loss for what it is.
Okay, yeah, I may or may not have wrestling running in the background on mute.
I absolutely respect your honesty in the matter.
Marina Shafir is making her debut, but I think she's got this one in the bag. On to this match. Yeah, Bird Up is cleaning up here.
I mean, he has at least one round up. He's been taken to one high tier after this. Our boy's on a really strong streak here. We might see 3-0. His quota lead is at least a whole 10 ahead.
I return.
Welcome back.
Rudolph has 3-0'd me, though I almost took a game on Fool.
Love the 0-2, but it was close.
Well, that's one full I have no pity for.
You're going back in.
I'm going back in.
Goodbye, Deca. I miss you. Sometimes I wonder if, like, this game's sound effects won't get us flagged on YouTube one day.
Yeah, I think you're better off just not thinking about it or drawing too much attention to it.
Too late.
Okay.
Alright. Welcome back.
Hello.
Okay, seeing where we're at in bracket right now, looks like all of winner's quarters is queued
Rudolph
up.
Lamel.
Oh, well. Rudolph Lamel, then.
Are we going straight to top 4 winners?
Yep.
Oh, man.
I'm guessing Templanza, Multiball, yep, they're already underway, so all quarters are barreled through. We're moving right along.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, this game pretty fast. The brackets, they get moving.
Look, I can't complain as a TO because this game has a built-in just cutoff for how long brackets can
Right.
actually take.
Yeah.
And that is really, really an underappreciated thing in the scheme of things.
How long did Penguin game go?
Oh, God.
Pequena took a hot minute. It was worth it. It was
It was
fun.
great. I had a great time playing Penguin game. I hope it comes back.
But it takes a bit.
Yeah. I think next time, what was it? It should just be like one match, best of 5 in that match.
Yeah,
Yeah,
easily.
That'd be fun. That's plenty of Penguins.
No, like, not to get too off topic on bracket, but yeah, like, Pequena might be one of my favorite rediscoveries of 2022, honestly. Alright, we got Lamelo and Rudolph queued up. Let's go.
And before we get in too far, I did find the formulation.
Yeah?
It sends one row of damage for each chain, or each link in the chain, and then it adds 0.2 onto that for each chain, progressive chain.
Okay.
So like a 2 chain will send 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, so and so.
For which game is this?
For Fiscal Jesters.
Well, we were talking a little bit of like how damage calculation works in this, and no one was able to come up with a straight answer. So
Zach is supposed to be writing me an article about it, but
It's basically done, actually. I'm gonna post it probably later tonight.
okay, send it to me. I'll send any proofs back to you. I'll have plenty of time to read it at 4 in the morning on a plane.
exciting. But since we had a dev of a Magical Drop inspired game, like, we can get hard answers for something.
Yeah. There are answers here. We just need a lot of time to explain it without oversimplifying. The easiest way to think about it, for the most part, is that 2 chain sends 4 lines, and every link in the chain after that sends another line. That's not entirely true, depending on which character it is in the cast, but for the most part, that's it. You want to do 2 chains, just so that you send more trash.
Remind me, since the actual point of discussion that we had before I got sidetracked off was, Do you have any hard idea on how ice works? Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to make sure.
I can give you my understanding. I'm sure Deca has a better idea than me, but my understanding is that the longer your chain is, the more likely it is it pulls from the ice pattern.
Okay.
So I don't think it's guaranteed that you get the ice pattern ever.
It is.
Maybe on like a super long chain it's guaranteed, but it's based on how long your chain is, how many orbs you're clearing in that chain, and the bigger it is, the more likely it is to send ice.
Okay.
I think Xerxian put together a damage calculator based on all the Japanese info that we got, and I thought it was really helpful. And I think the other thing it taught me is that I don't actually really need to know every granular minutia, right? I think I just need to understand the general strategy that I should be going after for each character, and from there, I think you could fill in the gaps in your knowledge with like game skill.
Fair enough.
Because I think the value I would get out of grinding and understanding every single intricacy of the drop pattern, I would just get better by playing more Magical Drop instead.
Yeah, once these patterns can't blindside you, then there's ostensibly not much they can do.
Yeah.
In practice, at least, I'm not too well versed in competitive Magical Drop replay.
The other thing that helps me personally is that that damage calculator, and we took a look at it, and you're like, oh, it's weird. All of the mid tiers send a lot of yellow in the middle of the board, and that has affected my gameplay because if I know a bunch of ice is coming, I try to hold on to some yellow balloons or bubbles, and then I send those yellow bubbles to break the ice, and then generally it's a bigger clear than I would have gotten.
So, like, there's a built-in rubber band to the character pattern.
Some of them.
Okay.
Yeah, the yellow sword things, they're actually symbolic of they're in that part of the attack pattern, they are representative of an actual sword being, driven into the opponent. I'm making this all up, but
that's how all tarot works, right? You just make it up and you hope the other person nods along, and if they're nodding along, then you keep going down that path, and if they're not, then you kind of spin it around and you see if they start nodding. I read a lot of people's tarot in my day, and that is my general strategy, and people think I'm very good.
Okay, I'm doing that on stream. You can't make me say that.
Power of confirmation bias, incredible.
Oh boy, okay. This feels like a real magician should never tell his secrets, but here we are.
Oh, it won't matter, because if I read one of your fortunes, you'll be like, wow, it is very convincing.
Wait until we get to our next money exchanger tournament, and I can tell you a bit about the economy.
There you go. We have to put a disclaimer, though, that this isn't financial advice, otherwise you'll get in trouble.
It's okay, it's equally as fake.
Watching these matches, Lamel kept that one pretty close. They were close on quota there. I know Rudolph's a little rusty. We played before. He still kicked my ass, but you could feel it. He hasn't been playing as often, and I think he's going to start grinding again, knowing that the finale's coming up. I really like this character and Justice because they send those flat lines like Magician does so that you can get those really cool clears in the back of the board, but their pressure is just nowhere near as scary as Magician is, so you have way more time to kind of try to set up and fish for those. They're one of the characters I'm putting onto my I should pick this character more list, because I think I'd be good at them if I spent more time grinding it.
What's your top 3? I've been sleeping on this character list then.
My personal one is I don't play enough of the top tiers. I think I would be a better player if I just grinded out the matchup on a lot of the top tiers of Latin America. I think the number one character that's slept on by the community is Lovers. I think I'm a Lovers fan, a Lovers liker, and they always kind of stick her at the bottom of the tier list. But her pattern is pretty much the same as Hanged Man, and there are definitely parts of it that are easy to clear. But the minute it gets jumbled, you are doomed. Like gets terrifying once the top of your board gets out of alignment, and I don't think a lot of people give her enough respect.
Okay.
I think Hanged Man in general too is a character that I am that I've been playing more of and that I feel pretty good at, that I think is slept on by most of the people. When they go to the hidden character list, they jump straight to like a tower or a hermit, and I think if we played more Hanged Man, a lot of us could stand to be better at that character.
Okay. Well, it's your turn on Winter Semis. You're playing against Templanza.
Templanza? Oh, God. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Yeah.
Just breathe, and it'll all be over soon, one way or the other.
Yeah, I think Templanza is one of my favorite stories of Magical Drop players. They came and they played for a while, and they were really good, and they just they didn't want to enter tournaments. I think they were just very nervous about tournament play. And they entered 1 or 2 tournaments, and they got really close to beating me, and then lost on the last game, and then they stopped entering for a while, and were just kind of down on themselves. And we convinced them at some point to start entering again, and since then they've been on a tear, and I think they've probably beaten me more times than I've beaten them. So they have really good results. They're sitting at the top of the current rankings for qualification points by a pretty sizable margin. And I think tonight, right, this is going to be a tough battle between me and them, that they have a good shot as anybody. It's like me and Templanza are probably the 2 folks who have the shot at taking games off of Rudolph.
Okay.
So let me ping
that. If I could wedge in, I believe we are catching heat from the chat, particularly Mess Queen in general, for not duding enough during that judgment game.
Yeah.
And am I supposed to verbally doot?
Doot.
Doot. Got it. Sorry, we're making up for lost time.
I'm sad that I have the little plushie of Judgment, and she's not even holding her trumpet. It's sewn to her butt.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I have the crane UFO plushie of Judgment, and she's not holding the trumpet. You can't make her doot. It's sewn to her butt. It's part of her backpack.
Huh.
Yeah. Disappointing,
Yeah.
So you need to get a second Judgment to play the one on. Yeah, so you just need to get enough of them to do kind of a chain.
Yeah.
A doot chain.
Like an Ouroboros of Judgment.
I do not want this to go to Human Centipede territory. Moving on. Okay. Start your game.
Okay, I'm setting the challenge. I'm going to mute myself.
All right.
I think this is going to be similar to the last one. Magician with Templanza and I is pretty close. And I think whoever has the counter pick advantage is really driving the ship here, because I tend to be the better mid-tier player, and they tend to kick the crap out of me on the high tiers. So
okay,
hopefully I can win game 1, and if not, then I'm going to be in rough water.
All right.
Okay, see you on the other side.
See ya.
Good luck.
So who do we have up next?
We're up in Templanza, right?
Yep.
That is our stream match. Yeah, this will be a slugfest. As soon as Discord opens, or not Discord, Spectate opens. All right, they are off to the races on Magician already.
So if you could just check the Discord real quick.
difficult to say who is favored on Magician, but this will be a very important match for the rest of the set. Counterpick will be very important here, especially since they're so close. Historically, more well known for his play of the lower and mid tiers, and Templanza is a high tier representative. Though their namesake is actually Temperance, who has the same pattern as everybody's favorite trumpet blower, Judgment. Who is a low tier. That's
Scandalous.
Very convincing third round from Bird Up.
Look, it's very true to life that sometimes your favorite character is not the character you play necessarily.
That is all. That is very true. That is my life in fighting games for sure.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's some sixth sense thing, but in fighting games, I always pick characters with ridiculously high execution, and I have abysmal execution, which is funny considering I play MagicalDrop. But I'm super bad at doing combos and stuff in fighting games. But oh, that's the first round to Bird Up. Pretty convincing, 3-1.
I mean, this is the advantage he wanted.
Yeah, I can't do fighting games or MagicalDrop. Like, I can barely do one full circle, let alone a whole screen of them.
Fair.
Touché. Alright, we are on Fortune. So, something you might see the... Oh, held...
Something you might see is just death immediately. Jesus.
So... Fortune... Oh!
What is this?
I think Templanza just self-piled, which is possible in MagicalDrop. It is very difficult to do, but you can do it.
Wow.
This is a bit chaotic. Okay, so Templanza finding a rainbow orb. If you throw a power orb and the ice, and you unfreeze ice, every orb that you unfreeze will become a power orb. So if you are like conscious of it, you can repeatedly duplicate power orbs on patterns like Fortune, who sends lots of clear ice that becomes the color of the orb you match next to it.
Oh, jeez.
So some players...
That all sounds very bad.
Yeah, so if you manage it right, it can be incredibly difficult to... Or it becomes very easy to stay alive when half of your board is rainbow orbs that clear all of the color they match with. And then it's also naturally duplicating, because it will... If you have a million of them and you're throwing them constantly, you'll hit ice fairly often. You just generate more.
So at that point, we're just in Senno territory.
Yep. It's... Xerxian has taken to calling it going to the disco, because they're all disco balls.
That is something he would call it.
Yep. Alright, so high tier win for Templanza, and now Bird Up is going to Sun, who is like I'd say a decent mid tier, solidly in the middle. Sends a high number of lines per clear, so Bird Up mentioned that when you make a clear, or if you do a 2-chain, you send 4 lines. There are actually 3 strengths of the characters. There are weak characters whose 2 chains send 2 lines, there are strong characters whose 2 chains send 4 lines, and there are medium characters whose 2 chains send 3 lines. Sun is a mid-tier, but has a strong pattern strength, so they will send the full 4 lines if you do a 2 chain. Their pattern just isn't very threatening, since it's fairly easy to manage the single spire in the middle. So, both players are pretty close. Oh, go ahead.
People may be wondering which one of these two has an advantage, whether it be a red star or an orange star. So the orange one corresponds more to a red super giant compared to the red giant, which closely associates with player 2, albeit a bit more saturated. I would have to say Bird Up is burning brighter right now, and that is being reflected in that win just there.
Bird Up this is probably one of Bird Up's signature characters, I would say. For as long as I've known Bird Up, Sun has always been one of their best characters. There's that giant block of yellow in the middle Bird Up also mentioned earlier.
Ooh, yeah, that's...
Unfortunately, it was not enough, though. The key to playing characters in the mid-tier is balancing sending garbage with being able to pull your own lines. There's an elegant dance of pulling lines can be more efficient than receiving garbage because you get more orbs, and a good mix of the two can let you get some really nice clears. Oh wow, Nail Biter coming down to 5 orb difference.
Oh, and I think it might be caught up, so I just saw that.
Oh boy, back to the high tiers. Power is... So, the strongest character in the game for just burying your opponent is Father's Strength. Tower has the same pattern as Father's Strength, but does not have the same orb color pattern, and as a result is much easier to survive as, but still very difficult to survive as. One of the notable differences is Tower has clear ice, so you can duplicate power-ups, where Father's Strength does not have clear ice, so you can't. We're doing a good job of playing defense. And it's paying off. Oh, Bird Up duplicating that rainbow orb. Getting ready to have a nice disco session. Oh, unable to get the second duplication, but still very comfortably on bottom. Oh, well, for a moment he was. Oh, and just like that, the strong pattern where you send 4 lines per 2 chain and the spires on opposite edges of your board make Tower's pattern very difficult to deal with. Widely regarded as the hardest character you will run into playing the normal single-player mode. I personally find Hermit to be more difficult, but there's also a strong argument for Tower.
So what's the deal with the Tower's eye?
I don't know, but I think...
Like, does he have two when one's covered, or is it just the one and it's an eye patch made of bricks?
I don't know.
I think it's the eye patch.
That would be on brand.
Tower Sans Undertale.
Yeah, I was about to say, now we know where Toby Fox got his inspiration.
I imagine if I was a castle and I lost an eye, I would simply go to the Home Depot and buy another eye.
I suppose that's an option, isn't it?
Doing a very good job of being efficient with this pattern. Chariot has almost an identical pattern to Sun, so Burdup probably also very at home here.
Speaking of which, I'm noticing the lion on the helmet emblazoned on there, corresponding with some of the discussion in the chat about certain hypothetical lions and suns fighting. I just wanted to see if we were going to dignify that with a response or not.
Depends. How high on the tier list is he?
Chariot is the same tier as Sun. They are almost identical. I believe Chariot's pattern is a little more lopsided than Sun's is, though.
And there would be a trillion of him.
Yeah, exactly. He wins because the lion is slightly lopsided.
Yep. I would say, considering they are of equal strength, a billion chariots would probably defeat the Sun. Also, Sun is only a baby, so... Oh, but that throws a wrench in it. Is the Sun... Are we talking about a full-grown Sun, or are we just pitting them against each other as is?
I don't know if I want to walk down the alley of hypothetical baby fights live on stream like this.
I mean, that's probably in good taste.
Alright, Burdup taking that last round convincingly, but it was still a close match at 3-2.
Someone should mention how Templanza is a Gururin player and how cool that is. Well, funny that. Because it's time to talk about the rest of the month's events. We're hitting the halfway point of April. So we have 3 more brackets for Puzzle Wednesday for our silly April Fool's saga. Coming up this weekend, we are doing Tetris 2 for the Nintendo slot. Nothing inconspicuous about that at all. Just silly Tetris 2 as well. Something. Check out Tetris 2 on NES. It's a fun game. Following Wednesday, we are going to be back with Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, or actually in this case, the Dreamcast's Super Puzzle Fighter 2X for matching service. And we are doing funny Puzzle Fighter Z rules, which, if you are not familiar with that, is vaguely like a Panel de Pon-esque game. So you should check that out. It's going to be absolutely bonkers. And since we want to give a little highlight to Templanza and their Gururin player status, apparently, since Trashboat is the head of the Gururin lobby, the mystery game for April, last Wednesday of the month,
Oh my
is
god.
going to be Gururin. So, maybe the Gururin lobby is just tactfully trying to advertise here. Who knows?
You absolute mad lads. How have I not found out about that until now?
I'm surprised you didn't know. But before we move on to winners finals, Bird Up, do you want to talk about what the plans for the Magidoro Masters finale is going to be?
Sure. I'm happy to. Sorry, I just went to grab some water after that match, so
No,
I got back just in time.
Understandable.
Yeah. So, if you guys aren't aware, this tournament, as well as a bunch of the other ones that we ran a couple of, over the past few months, are part of a tournament series that I'm calling Magidoro Masters. There is a finale for all of the qualified players that'll take place on this channel next month, May 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So, a Saturday afternoon for all of our qualified players. The top 6 qualified players plus our 2 invitational slots will battle in like a best on best tournament here for a bunch of prize money and the glory of being the crowned the top magical drop player of 2022. So Rudolph, who I'm going to be facing off against in winners finals, as well as Wanpa, who is a student and can't make it to week day events, are our 2 invited players. They are our 2 A-ranked magical drop players, the 2 strongest Fightcade participants. And then from there, we'll have 6 open qualification spots. Myself, Templanza, Lamel, Leonint, and I believe Scherzo and one other folks who I'm forgetting right now are currently in the qualifying spot, but you will earn points for this event, and there's one more qualifying event in person this weekend at Genesis in Northern California, which was supposed to take place in January, but got bumped back and is still available in time for the qualification period. So please tune in next month on Puzzle Saturday, May 14th, and see our best players kind of fight it out for the crown. It's going to be super awesome, all high-level matches, and I'm really interested to see how it shakes out. I think everybody's going to be practicing really hard ahead of time to make sure that they have their opportunity to make their name in this bracket.
Genuine question before we proceed with the rest of bracket. Is there going to be a way to catch the Genesis 8 bracket?
I don't believe so. I don't believe there is a plan for the stream. I will see what's going on while I'm there. Maybe I can at least have somebody record the top 4 or something like that so that I can upload them on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
But if you are going to be in the area, even if you're not a Magical Drop player, swing by Genesis. It's run by Pterodactyls, who is one of our Magical Drop players who enters most of our events, and I would assume would be here if it wasn't for Genesis being this weekend. Great person. Genesis is an amazing Super Smash Bros. Event, and I'll have lots of little tutorial brochures and stickers and stuff to give away if you want to come hang out with me in the Magical Drop section. So the Magical Drop tournament takes place on Saturday at 2 p.m. if you're in the Northern California area and want to come to the San Jose Convention Center. Play with us.
Alrighty, well I think that covers pretty much all of our bases. It's time for winners finals.
Sorry, I'll put up just some news about the announcement date and everything on Discord as well, so that people don't forget. And if you are somebody who is on track to qualify, I will probably message you directly on Discord, and I'll probably also reach out to the people who are stuck in that 7th or 8th qualification spot. In case we have somebody who's unable to make it for that date, we'll kind of slot in the next qualified player based on points.
Also, gonna link to the Magical Drop Discord here in chat, as well as a plug for our own. You can get friendlies and tournament information for both Magical Drop and just a ton of other games between the two, so check us out. Anyway, are you ready to step back into the ring?
Yeah, we're going straight to winners finals?
Yep.
Oof. Okay.
I bought you as much breathing time as I could.
Sure. I'm happy to play it out then. Give me 1 second, let me ping Rudolph. And get going then. Is losers bracket going to be playing out while we're playing these? Or...
Nope, we are going to get all of top 8. We are actually running pretty ahead of our usual expected schedule tonight.
Great. So that means I'll have, even win or lose this set, I'll have a bunch of time to unwind here.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Okay, so I'm going to send my challenge to Rudolph now. I'm going to mute myself. We played a little bit earlier tonight, and I lost 5-1. I'll be happy if I get the 1 in this set. So,
all right.
Okay, I'll see you all afterwards.
Love to have realistic goals. Good luck.
1.
Ha 1. I got a Guru Meditation error. Why does this happen right at Winners Finals? How dare.
Are we going to have radio commentary?
I can't radio commentate if I can't get into spectating. Well, I suppose you can.
Alright, both of them are off to a... Wow, okay. Commanding start here. Rudolph 118 to 140 here. Okay, Burdup going to 124 after clearing off a whole bunch of the screen right there. Holy crap, I can't do this much longer.
It's okay, I'm back in.
Alright, we're in. Video feed is live.
Whole bunch of red ones over there on the screen. Oh, there they go. They're gone now.
Oh, 5 orbs.
I don't envy you for even attempting. Like, doing play-by-play of uppy downies is,
Yeah, there's so
it's a little bit a lot.
Yeah, as I said on Twitter, I will be making an attempt here, because this is a very fast game.
It is appreciated. But sometimes you just have to appreciate the fireworks as they happen and, like, maybe start speculating on the counter picks.
Yep, sometimes you just gotta point out the ones that are really loud, because otherwise...
How are you gonna hear them, then?
That's nice.
Rudolph's struggling to find the last clear for a couple of seconds, but... still manages to stay ahead by only like 7 or 8 orbs. Let's see how Burdup uses this rainbow orb. Cool. Unable to preserve the blue rose in the back, but still manages to snag the clear. Also managing to snag the clear on all of the nice, juicy flat lines in a row, and Burdup will come cruising in to quota for that for his first win of the match.
1.
Yeah, 1. Haha. Oh, unfortunately, unable to find a solid place to throw those blue orbs. Could not find enough orbs to start getting clears in the back row. Alright, now we are going to Chariot, who we saw last match. A Burdup specialty. Starting off the round with a big chain.
And one thing I noticed on this is that when you counterpick, you also get to pick the color, and I wonder what kind of advantage that has, at least psychologically, going into the second game.
Yeah, some of the player 2 colors do look pretty fresh. Purple Magician is especially stylish.
Yeah, like, I feel like if you don't get locked on Purple Magician, you're just throwing away your first match. TBH.
Now I want to run statistics on this.
If you want to dedicate the time,
more often. Oh, Bird Up unfortunately missing the yellow clear, but on the ice, but manages to get a similar effect from green. Unfortunately, that power orb was incredibly inefficient, though. Yeah, Rudolph just cruising right now. Doesn't have enough orbs to clear. Oh, okay, I was about to say, this is a, there is a neutral pattern in this game, much like, Money Idol Exchanger, and some of the starts are recognizable because the patterns are pretty distinct, and this one is one where if you pull down 7 or 8 lines, you get a power orb that you might not see if you just play the round normally. So both players pulled down a bunch of extra lines. They found that power orb. Alright, Bird Up fighting back. Bird Up taking this pattern a little bit differently than I would, but also a better player than me, so I don't know if I should be giving him advice. Oh, and that looked like a critical error. That will, he will not be able to recover from that one. Sometimes you just run out of orbs that are, easy to match. A lot of the mid-tiers are very easy to stay alive because their pattern naturally gives you the next clear. But if you make a mistake and accidentally you don't have any obvious matches on the top of your board, the lines come rolling in very fast, and any pattern can turn deadly very quick. So here's Hanged Man. He is a low power character. His 2 chains only send 2 lines, I believe. But his color pattern is very checkerboarded, so none of the matches he sends are obvious. You have to do a lot of shuffling around and a lot of careful board management, and as a result, the matches take a while, and it kind of perpetually feels like you're drowning because he sends these flat lines of awkwardly oriented orbs. And even though the lines don't come quick, they start piling up really fast because nothing clears quickly. Oh wow, going all the way to quota and losing by 5. Something the players might be inclined to do is save their power-up orbs, though both of them are letting them rock right away. Though he shares an attack pattern with Lovers, Hanged Man is considered a high tier because the color pattern is so awkward. As you saw there, Bird Up he just ran out of orbs to match at the top of his board.
Feels very Might Dealer.
It is very Might Dealer.
Like, chaining isn't just for survival or offense, it is for survival after a point.
Yes, yeah. You really need to, So one of the mechanics in Magical Drop is the floating chain. If you throw orbs over a match, they take extra time to float down to the bottom of the screen. And while they're taking this extra time to float down to the bottom of the screen, you can't take damage. So abusing this is really important to, like, give yourself extra time to shuffle stuff around.
Huh.
There's a similar trick in Money Idol Exchanger that is referred to as the 500s trick, but it is nowhere near as pronounced. Ooh, Birdup stealing his first win on Inkman. He mentioned earlier that not many people pick this character, and that is very true. So it's a good counter pick to have in your pocket. Rudolph going for the 10 extra seconds to immediately pick High Priestess. That's right.
Is that a power move?
Well, not necessarily. Maybe the last second he decided that he wanted to pick High Priestess, who is one of his signature characters. High Priestess often gets considered a high-tier character, though from personal experience, I've found that if you're capable of surviving on Magician, you will probably also be capable of surviving on High Priestess with a little bit of practice.
Yeah, it seems like she's gotten the most mixed opinions from people that really play the game.
She's like the first high tier that you will, like, high tier in quotes, that you will learn to quota consistently. And I think that's a strong argument for her to be like more of an upper mid-tier character than a true high tier.
Upper, like, almost the skills check barrier there?
Yeah. Upper mid, I would say, is if you're running into someone who's like a high C rank, you're probably not going to be able to just two-chain and pressure them out. They will know how to deal with the pattern sufficiently to survive. Pretty even match so far, though I was gonna say Rudolph with a bit of a quota lead, but that big match by Birdup really doing him a lot of good. Oh, unfortunately picking up the wrong color. That just slowed him down. Rudolph on match point. Rudolph with a less efficient opener. Birdup doing a very good job of clearing the orbs very quickly. Ooh, sneaking in that full line in the back row. And Rudolph is kind of stuck at the top board with some weird checkerboarding in the back and can't find these big clears in the back, and Birdup is going to steal another round. A lot of elo on the line for Rudolph right now. These wins will give Birdup lots of points. This is a bit of an awkward start. The pattern is just not friendly, and Birdup could not find the same solution that Rudolph did. So that is winners finals going to Rudolph.
Alrighty then. So let's see where we are, rounding things up into the lower half of top 8s.
Hi everybody again.
Welcome back.
I think that went fairly well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like, I don't know if it's like we haven't played in a while, so I'm less used to the connection between here and Argentina at the point. But it feels like a little sticky tonight. Like I was missing like pickups and drops that I thought I had, but it's just something you got to get used to. He was playing through it, so I got to do it too.
Alrighty then. Well, in
our boy Deca.
Yeah, I was gonna say in losers 8, the first up is
Sheltopusik.
Sheltopusik.
Very awkward
I get confused on the middle syllables. Regardless, yeah, Deca, go ahead, play a match. It's top. All of top 8 gets points. Yes.
All of top 8 does get points. Yes.
All right.
If you finish 7th, you get at least 1 point.
All right.
We do allow gatekeepers. So if Rudolph wins the tournament, he gatekeeps those 15 points that could be somebody's.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But, you know, at least our boy's getting a point. Good on him. He's fighting to see if he's going to actually be in the Magidoro Masters, is going to hang out in commentary with us next month.
Right.
So, we have to see how hungry he is.
Yeah. I think this should be a good match. Lamel was able to fend off Shelter Pusik earlier, so hopefully Deca can put up a good fight.
Snake right off the bat.
Oh boy. Oh. Yeah, he had the yellow burst. He just was indecisive and didn't pop it. So we talked about this before. I'd expect counter picking to skew towards the mid tiers with Deca, and Shelter Pusik to probably start picking high tiers should they get their counter picks. He's got the opportunity to clear the reds in the back there, Deca. But still struggling in the quota department here. He probably needs some like double clears to catch back up. Oh, that green ice was not in the right place. Shelter Pusik with a pretty insurmountable lead at this point. Yeah. Okay, Deca's feeling it out. Shelter Pusik also probably picking up some momentum, having to run through losers a little further than maybe expected.
Yeah. Like, was his match against Landwell round 1?
Yeah, it might have been. Or one of them had like a DQ, I believe. I'm actually a little worried about that on my end, seeing as I'm gonna be sitting idle for a while, waiting for people to make it all the way to losers finals. Hopefully my hands don't go too cold, and I go in against somebody who's running real hot after winning a bunch of matches.
It's weird how that's almost a backwards sort of correlation there, because, you know, I feel for most other games you'd appreciate being able to not have to be put through the ringer for a loser's run.
Yeah, I think one thing is, like, I think it's because I come from fighting games, having that break is nice, because you can kind of mentally reset, right? You don't expect to be playing the same character in the next matchup, so you can spend some time thinking about, like, okay, what do I do against the character that I anticipate playing? In Magical Drop, you gotta be ready to play all the different strategies and all the different matchups. So I think having some momentum coming in, like having played a couple of matches, you're feeling it at that point. You're like in the rhythm, and you don't need your hands to have to catch back up to speed. And a lot of these sets, especially like the highest level ones, like myself or some of the Latin American players, are kind of decided on the counter pick war, right? That game 1 is really, really important to make sure that you're playing the kind of characters you want to be playing the rest of the match.
It was Lamble's first match, yeah.
Okay, but Deca doing pretty well there on Lovers to take that round. This is a Deca specialty. I think both this character and Hangman are two of his strongest counter picks. He likes that, like, they're very close to being flat patterns. It's like only a one bubble difference between this and like a full flat pattern, and it really is quite the difference when it's coming in really fast and heavy. Sorry, just 1 second.
Deca's getting a little lopsided here and not making clears.
Oop. Yeah, you heard a little bit of his mic squeak through, and him mention his hands were participating. Yeah.
That's always the risk of being on mic for your tournament sets.
The only thing you get out of me is swears, and me going, "You need to be more patient," or like really deep breaths.
So yes, everyone's favorite feedback sound.
Yeah. I used to get scolded all the time when I played World of Warcraft because I would be like heavy breathing into the mic during raids.
Okay, Deca's gonna have to reverse 3-0 things here.
Yeah.
This is a potential last counter pick here. Yeah, okay. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect this other character that he really likes.
I do like how even in the mirror match sort of meta, you can still come up with a very signature pick.
Yeah, for sure. I think like Rudolph has one with High Priestess. Mine is like Sun or Chariot, and Deca is definitely like a Lover's Hangman. Everybody has something like a skill that they are just happen to be better at than their opponents, right? For this, it's like, where in the tier list do you find your comfort zone?
Like, I feel like it's the hardest sell of what we do for this and for Money Puzzle is if you come from like any other competitive game background, like you come from FGC, it feels almost weird to insist on a mirror match, and like that doesn't necessarily limit it. More than anything, you're going to have to learn to play against type and like absolutely hone what your strengths are in the character lineup.
Yeah. People actually ask me this all the time, and they'll say, like, why do we do mirror matches? Doesn't that make it so that, like, less characters are viable? Why can't I just play the guy that I like? And I was like, you're... Like, it kind of... You think it was that way off the bat, but this actually really opens up the character diversity. You need to be able to play more than one character. And it leads to you having to get way better as a player than if you were just like, okay, I'm going to lean on the crutch of playing father straights all the time. It wouldn't be like, I personally would not have fun. I don't think I would be playing this game if it wasn't for our rule set, because like I don't want to play against father strength every game. It's a nightmare. No,
Line came in just a little too fast.
Yeah, I had that a couple of times in my matches too, where like it's floating back, but the pressure's still coming, so it just kills you.
Yeah, that did feel a little sticky. I think I know what you were talking about. I've been playing with Xerxian a lot.
Yeah.
And so I have not been used to the longer distance connection. It does feel a little bit stickier.
Right.
Our boy Xerxian spoiling you by being in the same country.
Yeah.
If you want to feel a really sticky setup, though, when you come to Red Parry, we'll play on the machine. You'll play with the American bat top stick. Oh, baby, is it sticky.
Yeah, we have actually a multi-cab here in Tampa, or St. Petersburg. And it's just like, it's one of those MVS like 96-1 multi-cards. Yeah, they have.
Yeah, that's what they got at Red
They
Parry.
have the same stick styles, like... Yeah.
They gotta just pop that bad boy open and put a Sanwa stick in it, and it'd be immediately a million times better.
Yeah. Anyway, other half of Losers 8s, we have Rune Spism and
Leonant.
Okay. Oh.
Who is usually my bracket demon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's opposite ends here. We'll just pretend that Rune is Deca too.
RuneSpism making top 8, though, means that I need to go and find an Australia flag emoji to put on the power ranking.
I mean, you do.
Yeah, I got it.
But, like I said earlier, Rune finds a way to be a top 8 of everything.
I was honestly a little skeptical that they'd make it here, but they beat multi-ball and everything, so those are some wins.
He's largely been focusing on money first, but, you know, if you put enough time into hash out the differences between the two, you can get some good mileage between both games.
Yeah, we're baby's first money. If you don't want to count to 5, you can only count to 3 and not to 5. Boom, play this.
Hate math, like colors, magical drop.
Yeah. So it's like the left brain, right brain of uppy downies. Okay, they're getting started here. So my guess is that I would really favor Leon in this match, but RuneSpism showed some stuff earlier, so maybe he's gonna be able to squeak out a game or two here.
RuneSpism is a high tier respecter, so
Okay.
I know Leonid also likes some of the high tiers, but Rune's money finesse really gives him a bit of an advantage on the characters with the really weird patterns.
I mean, that's good because we're starting to narrow out the people who like specialize in low and mid tiers at this point.
I was talking to Butts, and he's like, I like Hanged Man because he reminds me of money. And I was like, I'm gonna write that down and not pick him against you.
Yeah, when you picked Hanged Man, we kind of mentioned he has a very Might Dealer-esque pattern.
Yeah, I kind of like Hangman now because I get to turn my brain off. What I feel about Hangman is like nobody has really proved to me that they can consistently make it to quota on him. So I just like vibe and try not to die and do big long combos and be belligerent, and a lot of the time it just works.
Love to be belligerent.
Until somebody proves that they can handle my belligerence, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Doing the big long combos on Hangman is very fun because his board pattern is so inefficient. You just have to do long combos to get down the board.
And you're just burning time off the clock. Like I was looking at the quota against Rudolph every round, and I was behind every round, and I was like, he's not gonna make it. And he would die at like 30 or 40, and I'd be like, whoops, didn't make it. He even said it, you couldn't see it because it was in our chat, but he was just like, there's too much pressure coming, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that's why I liken playing as Hangman to like treading water.
Yeah.
It's like you can only stay afloat for so long. It's just such a awkward pattern.
And I think the other thing to note there too is like, if we want to beat the A-rank players like the Rudolphs and the Wanpas, like I don't know if we're going to beat them in their comfort zone, right? Like we're going to have to throw some weird stuff at them, like the characters that they don't normally play, and hope that we can kind of eke out an advantage there. The Hangmans of the world.
So, this is speculation, but if I had to hazard a guess why Rune is a high-tier Spectre, it more often not... In this moment, I'm wrong, but he's been showing to be, like, consistently 30 behind in quota. And
the pressure.
As he squeaks one in and wins on quota.
Yeah, like I said, I acknowledge that in this moment, I'm wrong. But the first few rounds, largely when he's won, it's looked like it's coming from a place of having laid on enough pressure. And you don't necessarily need to rush to win off of pressure.
Yeah, he's gonna look like he's gonna take the game. Wow.
Well, gosh
real
dang.
comeback there.
See,
yeah.
that was the pressure win.
Yeah. There's like a certain amount of pressure you could send with Magician that just gets really unwieldy. Where you can't kind of, like, you're not getting the straight lines in the back row anymore, and you really have to start, like, floundering to get your clears.
If you only send 4 lines at a time as Magician, his pattern is horrendous. It is so awkward to clear.
Yeah.
So, small sidebar, I'm wondering if Leonid's been reading Twitch chat, because, Rune very openly cops to not be able to do, High Priestess on there. It's like, I guess I'm the lower end of C tier, or C rank.
Yeah, it's 50-50. Rune has said they don't like High Priestess, but also Leonid typically pretty good at the High Priestess pattern, though.
Yeah.
Both things can be correct.
Pretty confident right now.
You might have the mental fatigue after being at work all day and running home.
Yeah. I have the opposite problem. I always play worse on the weekends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know folks like that who, like, they work all day, they like to, like, burn out their brain, and then they go mind off mode when they game at the end of the day. Like, one of my friends who goes to our Melee local, like, he says he works way better, he plays way better when he shows up, like, exhausted from work, because he's not overthinking it.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
That's my problem, too, is, like, how many times I catch my like, brain wandering during a single match. And I'll just be, like, thinking about something random, and then I'll get to the end of the round and have lost, and I'm like, why was I even thinking about that random thing? Like, I saw during one of my last games that I had 9 messages on Discord, and I was like, I wonder what people are messaging me about. It could be all of these different things. And I was, like, counting them in my head as to, like, what it could be. It was you trying to send me the link to your article, but...
Yeah.
It definitely probably cost me around being like, what could it be? It could be anything. It could even be a link to an article.
I'm the opposite way, where if I almost play better when I'm distracted.
Really?
Yeah. The more I second guess myself, the worse I do.
Yeah.
So if I'm like talking about something or doing something else, I don't get in my own head.
Yeah. There is very little time to sit and, like, be idle in this game. So if you can find a way to avoid that kind of second guessing, it definitely pays off. How many times I have lost rounds, even tonight, where I have like a chain finishing up while their quota ends, and I would have made it if I just had 2 more seconds. It's like, well, I wonder where I could have bought those 2 seconds to get me to that quota next time.
I'm putting up quite the fight, though.
Yeah, right?
Leonint is, having... Well, Leonint is very ahead on quota this round, but...
Yeah, but he's lost on pressure a couple of times, so he can't just rest on his laurels and coast to try to get to quota here.
High Priestess is interesting when it comes to pressure, because sending a lot of lines is bad if you don't have an immediate follow-up.
So close to dying! Oh my gosh,
Rune's
up
wow.
2-0!
Rune is up 2-0.
Wow, okay. This would be a pretty big upset.
This would be definitely be an upset.
This would be a big upset. We'll see where he goes. Okay.
Ooh, and now here you get the high tiers.
Love full volatility.
Real pressure time.
I mean, if Rune can just kind of keep living like he's been doing. Seems a little confused by the pattern, though. Or not.
Water Strength has a very awkward pattern.
Yeah.
It is a high tier that... Probably one of the most unique patterns in the game, honestly. Nobody really has a similar pattern at all. And it's not very intuitive to deal with, either.
Yeah. You kind of just have to have practiced this pattern a bunch before you can really start living. I was talking about it earlier, but you're looking to attack the rows that the bubbles aren't coming from. So you're clearing deeper into your board.
Yeah, getting the branching clears for extra orbs and free downstacking.
Yeah.
Alright, Rune is very intentionally sagging 2 chains. And that worked.
It worked out, yeah.
Definitely a safe bet on a character like Strength.
Yeah.
Because the pattern is nasty. Strong pattern sends 4 lines per 2 combo, plus whatever extra distance you get from clearing a large chain. So you can easily send 5 rows with a 2 chain if you get 2 juicy clears down those like throwaway shoots.
Oh, he's gonna die again. Rune 1 round away from a 3-0 over Leonid. Okay.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of mileage out of cutting these off, specifically a 2 chain.
Yeah.
In the
if I was a
moment.
bet, man, this would not be in my bet, but like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems right now.
Like, in the moment, it's terrifying, but can't argue with the results.
Right.
But one of the things Rune's money experience is paying off on is he is very good at doing the floating chain. The similar trick in money is
there's no clear ice outside of that opening pattern for Daughter Strength, so if they wanted to do the ice dupe, like the rainbow dupe there, they would have had to do it in that moment.
Rune spends a little bit too much time thinking about that rainbow orb, and I think Leonid just went after it, and it cost Rune.
We saw that when I played Rudolph on Hangman. We had one game where we got blank ice and a rainbow orb right off the bat, and that was the only chance to do the dupe, and both of us went for it right away, knowing that, like, I'm never going to get an opportunity to do this again.
I have to wonder why this was Rune's pick.
He did pretty well against me on Sun, so...
Yeah, maybe he's just betting that he's going to win on quota here. This set, like, he's got 2 counter picks, so he could go low tier and then high tier, right? He can kind of diversify his picks. But with a 2-0 lead, you're basically saying, like, I can think of one character I could beat you on, and you get 2 shots at it.
Fair.
So far, Leonid a little bit ahead, but Rune making some quality clears, so it's pretty close. It might just come down to tempo.
Yeah, he just needs one. He's done.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah. I think, personally, Sun is probably the easiest mid-tier.
Really?
In terms of, I think this is the one that you're least likely to die to pressure on. Like, the other ones, it's very rare that you die to pressure. This one, it's like, it should almost never happen. And I think it's just like, he's got such a soft middle of the board.
It's so many yellow orbs.
It's so many yellow orbs, yeah. You're just kind of holding on and waiting to do a big yellow clear in the middle. Okay, and then Lena dies to pressure. My bad. Old commentator's curse there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, really pushing the boundaries of what the commentator's curse can do.
Yeah.
You should never ever die to this baby character. No.
He's literally a baby character.
Yeah, true.
Has a diaper and everything.
Also, one of the the best faces in the Sun damage face is just one of my favorite things ever.
It is pretty A+, yeah.
I'm very versatile as a
known hater of Sun's song, though. Oh my gosh, and again, just getting caught up at the top. He was behind a quota by a bunch there, too. Wonder if the nerves are getting to him here, right? In his book, you're losing to, like, a relative unknown.
Yeah.
Either that, or, you know, maybe Rune can just win the pressure of any character.
Yeah, maybe.
To me, that's the narrative here.
You're making a lot of very smart matches. Not making the fastest clears, but waiting a second or two to get the big clear that rolls in.
Yeah, like the better alignment.
Doing pretty well.
He's ahead on quota again. This could be it. 13 to 47. This is looking over.
Yep.
Wow, RuneSpace of 3-1 over Leon. Big W for Australia.
Yeah.
The Wallabies are going crazy right now.
Oh boy. Alright, moving on into losers' quarters. Taking a peek at bracket.
Hang up my stick.
Yep, Templanza.
Templanza, and I am still not going to get this name right.
Shelto Pusic.
No matter how many times you tell me, the moment that the match is done, it will just slide out of my brain.
Yeah.
Apparently, 4 syllables is too many for one name for me.
Right.
It happens.
I have my I have my Google Translate open to translate Portuguese and Fightcade.
It's a practical skill at this point. Like,
oh wait, no,
full stop.
Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
Yep. I don't speak any of the Romance languages, so they all look the same to me. I'm bad.
I mean, full stop.
Latin. I studied Latin in high school.
Dang. Trashbot's been learning Portuguese to be able to help us out. So, you know, it is a good TO skill in the world of online.
One of my friends is a linguist, and he has said that Spanish and Portuguese are similar enough that he can get by in Portuguese just knowing Spanish.
Yeah, I used to work with a bunch of Spanish and Portuguese speakers, and they all were just kind of interchanging between the two of them.
Shouts up music, get run over.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot of, I mean, RuneSpism might be able to change it, but there's going to be a lot of Battle of Latin America. Or is Lamel still in?
Lamel is still in.
Yeah. Okay.
But we have a pretty diverse cast of people left.
Yeah. We've got 5 countries represented in our top 6.
Yeah. Truly is a world tour. We've got representation from everywhere.
I really wish we had some Japanese players on the rankings. I think there's like 2 or 3 that could have qualified.
Yeah, it's a shame that they're just generally not a super big fan of Fightcade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to traveling at some point and being able to play with them, but I'm gonna be nerfed. I'm gonna be on an actual stick and not on my hitbox.
You gotta go to Mikado Arcade. That's the that's where I found I put my 100 yen coins into the magical drop machine, looked down, and Money Idol had started. And that's how I discovered Money Idol.
Good
I
experience.
didn't realize it was the multicam.
Then you found out if you could count to 5.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's kind of crazy to me. In America, people are like, arcades are too expensive. It costs like 50 cents a game, and you're in Japan, you're like, it's a whole $1. Stick your dollar in the machine and get absolutely destroyed in 30 seconds in Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, luckily, a lot of the arcades in Japan will do, like, you get a card that's good for an hour.
Yeah.
And you just pay, like, a fixed amount, and you get unlimited plays for, like, a specific amount of time.
Yeah, when I was there for Third Strike, we were hanging out with some of the expats, and they were friends with the arcade manager, so they would just we'd pay, it was like $20 for all of us, and they would just put it on free play for an hour.
Oh, yeah, that too.
So we were just playing Third Strike at, forget which one it was, Koenji Cube, I think. I'm very excited. Genesis is going to have a U-Beat machine, so I'm looking forward to playing that all weekend.
I don't think I've ever played that.
It's that's like my favorite rhythm game. It's like a grid of like 9 or 12 buttons in front of you, and they like light up. And
I have played that one.
Yeah,
no, that one is a lot of fun.
It's so fun. I don't. There's way too many songs that I don't know, so there's like 3 or 4 songs that I just play on repeat. And Just a Music taking game 1. Okay, are we gonna just have like a loser's bracket of upsets?
Shelter Music definitely like snapping back to life.
Okay.
Going to Fortune.
Oh,
Tim
yes.
Fonza is a big Fortune fan. #1 Fortune fan club.
Are we just gonna throw like the entire bus's worth of top tiers at Shelter Music?
Very likely. If we see it would not be unlikely that the next pick is Father Strength, who I don't think we've seen yet this tournament.
No. At least not on stream.
No, yeah, I don't think I've seen that strength. Nice. Templanza getting the disco clone there.
Templanza
trying to save one. You can get it a couple of times.
This.
Yeah, this is a character where you can get so many of them.
And this takes this character from being one of the hardest characters to survive against to be one of the easiest characters to survive against.
Yeah, once you can get that clone and keep it rolling, you are cruising. I think that's why we moved Tower down below Hermit on the most recent tier list. Right?
Yeah,
because the fact that they send the clear ice is just makes it so much easier sometimes because you can do all the power-up clones.
you can do all the power-up clones, and if you play smart, you can get really chunky defensive clears as well. Like that ice clear right there that Shelter Pusic just did. Took out 15 orbs in a rectangle, and it just, that whole side of the board collapses down, and it makes it much easier to manage your board. Not sending ice as fortune is very important, but at the same time, you're also trying to do whatever you can not to die, because the spires are just so brutal.
Right.
Unlike High Priestess, where you can dump off of the spires into 2 columns.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do that on High
Literally
Fortune,
just bail out the ship.
Yep. I have done some very desperate bailouts before. To great success.
It buys you time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to get the waterfall clear there. It's gonna not. It's not gonna matter, right?
Put on this drop there.
We're going. Ooh, okay. Let's go to a mid tier.
Now the opposite. So you think Sun is the easiest character to not die on? I think it's Justice.
I think it's Justice.
Because Justice not only has the very easy to clear, just boring 3 columns in the middle pattern, she's also medium, so she sends 1 fewer line than almost all the other low tiers.
See, this is why I need to read your article.
Yeah. After you proofread it. Or as you proofread it. Though I don't necessarily go into the character specifics other than for some examples.
That's fine.
Maybe that will be at a later date.
I'm just interested to see what your writing tone is compared to mine. What is your auteur voice, you know?
I like to think I've got a good professional tone.
Yeah, mine is somewhere between guy being nice to you, but also a little condescending.
Alright.
I've also, Xerxian's made fun of me because I always refer to the Magical Drop community as we, or things that I am doing by myself as we the community bring this to you. He's like, you're the only person doing this, and I was like, yeah, but I like the concept that it's a whole effort.
Look, it has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Right, Templanza has definitely showing they are capable of running both ends of the character spectrum.
Right.
I really think the secret to playing Justice is managing. It's just making sure you're constantly receiving lines.
Yeah.
She sends so little garbage that you really have to just abuse the line send button to give yourself orbs to clear.
There's a lot of these mid-tier characters where I'm literally just hammering that button every second that I'm not doing something.
Oh, wow. And then a convincing rebound from Shelter.
Yeah, these are pretty splashy. These are sizable leads. This is on a personal note, but I keep looking at the clock and being like, God damn it, I'm going to be on a plane in like 4 hours or 6 hours, whatever
that's
it is.
rough.
Yeah.
At least you can take a nap.
Yeah.
Are you not good at sleeping on planes?
No, I've gotten very good at sleeping on planes. I book myself like the literal back row of the plane, like the place where there's no window, so I don't even get like any light creeping in.
Oh yeah.
I like live for the gremlin seat on the plane. I'm also an aisle guy and not a window guy.
Ooh, here we go. Daughter strength.
Yeah. Somebody is asking in the chat, what do the characters change? The characters each have their own color combination of the trash that they send, and their own shape in which they send trash. So you'll notice here that Daughter Strength is going to send a lot of pressures in line 2, 4, and 6. Right, it'll look like a little pitchfork with 3 different tines. And the previous character we were just playing sends all of their garbage straight down the middle, and it's pretty weak, while this pattern is pretty strong.
Characters also send different amounts of lines.
Yeah.
Depending on
who they are. But that
Which
varies like even within a tier, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's almost arbitrary. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if there is any rhyme or reason to it.
I've crunched some numbers, and I believe the logic is literal count of orbs.
Really?
The characters all send between like 18 and 22-ish orbs on a 3-chain. Is pretty. That's about where it levels out.
I was gonna say, I wonder if it's like a legacy thing where like characters that have been in the game longer send less trash or something stupid. Okay, tied up here. So, Schlesto Pusic kind of surrendered that counter pick advantage after losing that last game.
Oh, Templanza just gets sniped by the spikes.
Yeah. I wonder if Templanza loses here, I wonder if the pick is Tower, maybe?
Tower, or I would not be surprised by Father Strength either.
I don't know if Templanza's a Father Strength pick. We haven't seen Father Strength because we haven't seen Butts.
Yeah, okay. Butts is the Father Strength picker.
Yeah.
I think I'm remembering it was Butts and Templanza who went to quota on Father Strength, wasn't it?
I have gone to quota on Father Strength against Butts.
Oh.
Somebody else might have done it, but I firmly remember doing it and then losing. Because I felt very sad that I would do that and then lose that same match. Somebody gonna go for the clone here? I'm gonna try to save it.
When you clone the single color orbs, sometimes it's not worth it to save them. Sometimes players opt to just let they just use it as like I want to turn all the ice into my color.
Yeah.
Because after you've cleared all the reds, you're left with a power-up that only clears reds, and there's no reds left on your board.
Right.
And Templanza's gonna take it.
Okay, nice. Templanza fighting back there. But Schlesto Pusic, not a bad showing. 5th place in their first tournament.
Oh, wait, that was their first tournament?
First tournament that I've seen them enter. They had to ask me what the rules were before the bracket started, so I'm guessing that's the case.
That sounds very first.
That was 3-1, right?
Yeah.
Alright, we've got Lamel and Rune, who are both very money puzzle exchanger players first, so I'm interested in seeing this.
We have the... Oh, wait, Rune is not a debt miser respecter quite the same way Lamel is. But they are both very dedicated money players.
Yeah, I think there's another question in the chat about, like, do we always do mirror matches, or is it just the rule for this tournament? most cases, people who are serious about this game will play money matches because they know, or not money matches, mirror matches because they know. Normally, if somebody's picking a character, like if you lock in and they pick somebody different, either they're sandbagging, or they don't really have a lot of competitive experience, or they just think they pick the character that they like. I have done it to sandbag, not like in like a mean sense, but because I'm playing against folks who like, you know, I need to play fool for it to even be close.
But like in the wider sense, if you're on Fightcade, you largely know how it's gonna go.
Yeah, almost everybody on Fightcade. I think even like especially now, when I first started playing on Fightcade, it wasn't always the case. But especially now, almost everybody will run the mirror match.
Yeah, same with money. After we codified that about 2.5 years back, it's just kind of been the way. Anyway, match is starting. Let's get in there.
Interesting to see this Rune Spism versus
Lamel. I'm almost more terrified to see that Rune might be able to proceed. Like, I feel like this is going to be close.
If you could beat Lamel, or sorry, if you could beat Leonid, Lamel is within the realm of possibility.
At this point, I'm surprised I beat Rune, because he's hell of a team. You know?
He took down your bracket team. You need to tag him in whenever you play against.
So, I wonder if either of you know this offhand, because I've not kept track of the entries across the past few months, but has Rune been in any of the other qualifiers?
I do not believe so.
Maybe
one.
I think they've entered. But it might have been before qualifiers were going.
Yeah, like I know he's explicitly played in MagicalDrop brackets.
Yeah.
But I feel like he would have been on scoreboard
points
by now.
Yeah, he does not have any points if he has entered.
I don't think he's ever entered any of the Death's Doorsteps.
No.
But I think he entered the other MagicalDrop Wednesday brackets.
Death's Doorstep's had a horrible time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, doing Death's Doorstep would be completely untenable for him.
Yeah, that's really like also my connection is a little wonky right now, so I'm jumping in and out of this match.
It skipped a couple frames for me too, so that just might be how like the replay was encoded.
Because it froze after the second round of game 1 on my side.
It frame skipped for me. It wasn't like a full stop, but it was like, oh, there's a hiccup.
Yeah, mine, the doors closed between rounds, so they just never reopened. It's like a very well-timed freeze. Ooh, that was a nice example of the mid-tiers having a lot of yellow trash in the middle of the board and getting a giant clear off of it on Lamel's side. Lamel's doing a great job linking together really big swaths of colors and getting nice clears off of them. I wonder also, feels like Lamel's been practicing. They're schmoovin'.
Gotta represent EU, and
they are the lone EU hope.
I mean, Xerxian's been trying to peer pressure Lamel into playing any games in the past few months, so I don't know, maybe he's finally gotten through to him.
Careful what you wish for.
I mean, Xerxian wasn't even internet alive enough to make it tonight, so...
Yeah, Lamel's just that intimidating of a presence in MagicalDrop now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm going to post something in chat. You should see it right about now-ish, if you're looking.
Okay. Let me go...
I went ahead and did a little extra promotion for the...
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
it's perfect.
It's loaded. Oh, that's really good. Absolutely fantastic.
I felt that y'all had this for a little bit, so I could step back.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Draw some cat eating salad.
I will. I'm gonna hit you up when I'm back from Genesis, and I'll send you like the hitbox template so that we can make a design around where the buttons go. And I will print it and set it up.
This is the canonical hitbox design now.
It may be the bird up hitbox design now.
Damn.
It's extremely powerful.
Alrighty then. Yeah, no, that's true.
We're gonna have to do some work to fit them around the buttons. But you'll see. We'll have to make some sort of background.
So close.
Absolutely knocking it out of the park here, though. This is exactly my vision.
All right, well, we see our first.
The drops on their salad.
Oh. Yeah, the salads are hard to draw, so I just put a bunch of gumballs in.
All right. You know, this is a very interesting bracket because I don't think we've seen any World or Empress, and we've seen like 4 Hangmans.
No, we saw an Empress.
Or I played Empress.
Oh, we did. Okay.
No World yet, though. On stream, at least. There's a lot of high tiers absent.
PW's up yet.
But Lammel's kind of cleaning up shop here.
Yeah, Lammel looking poised to finish in this top 4. It's looking like Lammel versus Temponza might be like a real hot matchup.
So what you're saying is Lammel needs to fly out to California tomorrow.
I mean, he could spend the money to come in second. It's really up to him.
Road trip.
Oh.
Road trip. Get in, we're hauling ass to Lollapalooza.
I'm actually going to France this summer. So I'll say it again when Lammel is done with his game. But I'll be in Paris.
How about that?
In Paris, in Toulouse, if the French scene wants to play.
Yeah, I've noticed that. For those not in the Magical Drop Discord at the moment, there's a large French following there to the point that they have a French language channel there.
They were like the original scene that wasn't Japan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I actually stole this rule set for the most part from them.
Yeah, I believe Valier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was like one of the first TO organizers that I knew of by name.
Yeah.
Hard 3-0 for Lammel.
Yeah, that was a pretty dominant showing there.
If
RuneSpism with a great run though, so no slouch.
If I remember my history correct, I think there was a period where Emperor mirror matches were actually the competitive standard.
That was when I picked the rules. I was like, I don't know why they picked Emperor. I don't like Emperor. I'm not a big funny Wario guy. So I said Magician because he was number 1, and it made sense to my brain.
Okay. Like, my read is that it's just perfectly flat damage, and like you could emulate Money Puzzle on that sort of take, but I very much agree with like the mirrors across the wider cast there.
Yeah.
But
I think he fits Magician. It's like, in my opinion, like right in the middle of the whole cast in terms of power too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really great showing from RuneSpism. Lammel, if you're in the chat now, I'll say it again. I'm coming to France. Oh, they're already playing. He's not.
Yeah, not wasting any time.
She's not in the chat.
It's like really grooving. Like 5 a.m. there. He's
You guys are just making sure that I'm going to get at least like 1 or 2 hours of sleep before my plane. It's nice.
It's considerate. But no, it's nice to see that like you can actually see the competitive scene evolve over the years.
Yeah.
There's a actual historical through line.
Did I even finish packing my goddamn bag? Am I gonna do that?
Love to have that crisis on stream.
I'm gonna have that crisis elsewhere. I think the real question too, and we'll talk about this. I'm gonna probably poll the Discord. But next month we're just gonna have the finale. Maybe we'll do like a community night where people, it's not a bracket, but like folks get together all on one night and play casuals and stuff like that as a community, which I think would be fun. Oh, that was really close. Two quota. But I wonder what the format will be like moving forward for Magical Drop events after Magidora Masters is over. So, if you have opinions, get ready to tell them to me, your anonymous TO for Magical Drop. I would love to continue collaborating with you guys in some manner.
Of course.
We'll see what's available there.
I mean, we're still very much on a alternating bi-monthly for all of our slots, so
I mean,
no reason to drop Magical Drop when it's still popular.
Yeah.
We'll be around.
Also, on the off chance that Magical Drop 6 is good, you know.
Oh man, yeah.
Always
There's always
keep
the
the door open
possibility.
to crack.
Yeah, we maybe, hopefully we'll get some news about that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Respectfully,
it's weird that they skipped right from 4 to 6 like that.
life's weird like that. One of them was Magical Drop F. I don't think they know how to count.
The F stands for 4.
Where does
What if
No,
it
it
stands
stands
for
for
5?
it stands for 5?
What if it stands
No,
for 15?
So they went Magical Drop 1.
It is the sixth letter in the alphabet. It is Magical Drop 6.
Oh, okay.
Then Magical Drop 11.
There's you're forgetting that Magical Drop 1 was actually chain reaction. So when they got to 6, they were like, when they were getting ready to make 6, they were like, oh wait, we skipped a number. We're one behind. So
We skipped this, but we skipped F.
Oh, it's a Rambo True Blood situation, or
yeah.
First Blood, not True. Oh, MS. I think if Rambo was in True Blood, it might go a little something like this. No. Let's get back to this match. We got a real...
This is a real barn burner, as we said before.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to, like, put any, like... cast any dispersions on this match. It's just that, you know, they're operating at such high speeds that, you know...
A little shit
You're
posting
better off
snuck
just
in.
talking about... Yeah. You can have little a podcast as a treat.
We have ventured into
Quarter
a
town.
fan favorite character, everybody's favorite jazz musician.
Can we get at least one collective toot-toot on the mic for the fans in the chat?
Dude.
Dude. Wow, down to the
that was
wire.
close and dying to pressure there.
Lamel, unfortunately,
Yeah, they had a
Silver
pretty big
missed
lead
out.
early too. So Confonza clawing that back and then somehow winning it on pressure, and then just deciding not to drop their orbs.
Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes you want to not let go of the blue orbs because you like them.
The jester gets sticky fingers.
Now that I have the vinyl bank of the Fool that I ordered from Japan, I'm gonna use it as like a misdrop jar. It'll be like a square jar, but every time I mess up, I get to
The
put
quarter,
a quarter
into
into it. Yeah.
Don't, like...
It's gonna fill up really
I was
fast.
gonna say, don't, like, rob yourself there.
I'll use it to buy myself ice cream after it fills up or something. Well, it'll be for a positive cause.
It's a lot of ice cream.
So I'll just have to get
I
better.
can't.
Or I'll just have to, you know, I have an Ample Hills. We have a very good ice cream place very close by here in Brooklyn. So not the end of the world.
Oh shoot! I just moved that to find the nearest and or best ice cream place around here.
That's an important thing to know. I grew up around the corner from a Dairy Queen. Not that Dairy Queen's the best, but it's definitely serviceable.
Yeah.
I didn't really grow up near Dairy Queen at all, so I had not gone to one until just recently, and they're pretty. It's better than I expected. I like
places
the
are fun.
blended stuff.
Do they flip it over for you?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, it's important that they do. How will you know if that's a structural integrity if they don't?
Unless it's a shake. Ooh, here we go.
This is the first time have we seen her before?
We have not seen her before.
So, I engaged in a little bit of a magical drop revisionism in chat here, but genuine question. Have any of the magical drops post 3 actually fixed up some of the input buffering issues?
I haven't played any of them, actually.
Okay. That's the answer I expected.
I played the weird mobile one, which was a nightmare for my hands.
But did it control better?
No, it did not.
Okay.
It did not control well at all.
Then we're gonna take that as a no.
Kind of back and forth on this match already.
Yeah.
So, Magician is like mid to upper mid tier, has the flat lines in the bag. Judgment is a lower mid tier with the flat lines in the bag. Moon is the high tier with the flat lines in the bag.
Yeah.
So we've if you manage to stay on top of this pattern, you can get some really nice board fixing clears. But if you let the pattern get away from you, more than probably any other pattern, I think the pattern goes from good to bad.
You're just doomed, yeah. Lamel was a big Moon fan, so I'm not surprised to see this pick here. Or am I mistaken and Xerxian's the Moon fan and forced Lamel to now start liking this character?
Xerxian's a fan of like every character in this game.
Xerxian is definitely a fan of Moon.
If there is a cute girl character, Xerxian's about it.
Yeah, okay, can Lamel recover from this?
Yep, that'll spread you pretty thin on magical drop.
Oh, nice. Alright, Lamel taking that one. One thing I try to do, or at least like what you can try to do on Moon, is keep that very center column open, because that's the best place for you to kind of get at the back line as it comes in.
Yep.
It's like when that center area gets clogged up is when it gets like really hairy really fast.
It's very difficult to get clears as the garbage comes in.
Wow, no disco clear on either side. They had
And that's
the
usually
rainbow warp right off the bat.
significant thing.
Yeah,
So.
like that's the first thing you're looking for, really. Maybe the pressure was just unwieldy to start.
These reds. It is very hard to do a play-by-play. Every time I try, somebody solves the problem I'm about to comment on before I can finish my statement. Oh, Lamel with a bit of an interesting play there. Opting not to throw. Opting to save some blue orbs to clear them later. And it was pretty efficient, so it seems to have worked out. This is a pattern that I either start with a rainbow orb that I can duplicate, or I die instead.
Or I die, yeah.
I'm not very good at Fortune's pattern.
Yeah, I kind of just try to play it slow and hope the other person sends me a bunch of ice.
Yeah.
That is not a foolproof plan.
Reasoning that you chill out.
Ooh, an interesting double rainbow orb start.
Yeah, neither of them really taking too much advantage. Lamel at least saved one.
This could
He
be
doesn't have-
beneficial.
oh, there's it. There's
the rainbow orbs.
Just gotta at least save one. And they save a couple, which is good. So they were able to make more. Lamel, plenty of ammunition here to keep this going. They still have one! Do something with it. There you go. That should be quoted.
That's enough to finish.
Yeah.
Well, does not overchain.
The answer of the question of who is the little clown, his name is literally just Lil Clown. I found this out now that we've been translating the manga. So he's Lil Clown, and he likes to carry the orbs. It's his job.
The deepest lore.
There's literally a whole entire, like, 4-panel comic about how he realizes that his life is a lie, because this is all he does, and he runs away. He has like an existential crisis about carrying the orbs.
Now, is it like a mirror match situation where it's like a parallel universe version of him on the other side, or are there like two clown brothers or something?
There's two of them.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's also a four-panel comic about the two of them hanging out and crushing cigs.
Those cut your growth, you know.
Tie it up. I'm definitely gonna print the two clowns smoking cigarettes as a T-shirt at some
point. That's a pretty metal T-shirt.
It's very good. I think they even have like 5 o'clock shadow in that drawing. It's really funny. Oh, and they have the rainbow orb here. So, will one of them get the clone on it, or are they gonna? No, Elmo's just gonna get rid of it here.
Well, Templanza with the disco clear first.
Well, you could always count on Templanza to do it. There you go. Man, it's scary when you just beat somebody on a high tier character and they're like, well, what if we just went to a higher tier character?
And sometimes that makes all the difference.
He won two high tier characters in a row. They won on Moon, and he's like, what if I went higher? And then he wins on Fortune. He's like, okay, I'll just go even higher.
Love to gamble.
Yeah. Eventually you will stop being able to do my patterns. Okay, gonna get a lot of that clear. That was a nice one by Lamel. Oh no! No! Congratulations, Templanza. That was a hard-fought battle. Lamel with a really good run tonight for 4th place. That's pretty much all but guaranteeing him a spot in that finale next month.
All right.
Lamel in chat, impossible character.
Well, it's time for Run Back City.
Oh, God.
Top 3 has all fought each other tonight.
Oh, no, Rudolph didn't play Templanza yet, so if he beats me, he'll have his shot.
You'll have to gatekeep to make my statement true.
Now that Templanza's, or Lamel's finally back in chat, hopefully. Lamel, I'm coming to France. Let's play. I'll be there in August or early September, and I'm going to be in Paris or Toulouse, or both actually. So, if you want to play, get some folks together. Let's make it happen. All right, so I play Templanza now, right? We're just going into it.
Go.
Okay, I'll send the challenge. I was hoping somebody would beat him so I didn't have to play him again. I don't know if my heart can handle it.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah. Okay, it should be loading. He accepted my challenge. So I'll see you guys on the other side.
All right.
Vaya con Dios.
Look, nothing is more unnerving than having to get the run back in the same bracket. Doesn't matter what position I'm in, coming up off of losers, sitting on winner's side, because it just is this pressure of having to accomplish the same thing twice. Never feels good. Templanza holding on to the yellow erase all, but until we get more damage later, it's not that helpful yet. Mance, hold on to it for a second. Loop there.
I think I just saw that yellow orb clear. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Magician is a funny guy. says Bakuna, because it is impossible for him to receive damage in his own eyes. Bird Up doing a great job of keeping the back lines clear, and but he's lost it a little bit, and Templanza has quickly taken a quota lead. Bird Up has close to quota, but his chain was just a little bit too late. Bird Up unable to get the Rainbow Orb to duplicate with the ice, but still manages to get a very juicy back row clear. Let's take a peek over what Templanza's doing.
Well, you know what they say, you can dupe all the people some of the time, and you can dupe some of the people all the time, but you can't dupe all the people all the time. And I think that applies to orbs, too.
Yeah.
Unless you know the tech.
Another close quota round, but Bird Up just could not quite keep up. And we are going to go to Chariot. Straight to the comfort pick. I have lots of characters I like to play, so every bracket I'm in, I kind of mix my counter picks up.
So, do y'all have a favorite, like, vacation spot, like, around Caribbean? Because I just love hanging out in the Bahamas.
I'm gonna give you an earnest answer. I really like Lake Tahoe. I'd like to go there again someday.
I'm a big skier, so I enjoy going to Colorado. Usually we go to, me and my dad go to Vail. We try to make a pilgrimage once a year.
I went snowboarding in Colorado once. It was a nice time. I don't think my body can handle snowboarding anymore, though.
I'm also a snowboarder.
I have never done a snowboard.
It's pretty neat.
Yep, it's a lot of fun. I'm a snowboarder, but I snowboard like a skier. It's very funny.
But I'm also very firmly in my 30s, so I don't think starting to snowboard is in the cards for me.
It's never too late to try something new if you're interested in it. I mean, you might not want to go into the half pipes and stuff, but there's plenty of fun. Wow, one orb.
Oof. Oh. Quarter races.
Yeah, because even if it is never too late to start, I want to delay stopping it for a little bit, is the thing.
Fair.
Fair enough.
So, I know there's some requests for characters that did not show up in bracket tonight, but I don't know. This is the last online opportunity for points in the league tonight. I don't think anyone's going to be playing off of type at this point. So, you know.
I know, that'd be a real swag move if the champion took requests.
Look, if there's anyone in this bracket that could, it's Rudolph. Assuming that he has to counter.
You know what? Let's see. Let's not get greedy with this. If it happens, it happens.
Oh no, I'm not gonna complain.
We go to Fortune.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Gold Lion Lad definitely stronger than Silver. Yeah, the character color advantage is real.
Yeah, it's subtle, but you know, it's a case of you need to press your button first. It's just a microcosm of this game, which is speed and execution.
Bird Up with a little bit of a fumble at the start there. But he manages to duplicate his rainbow orbs, so this could be a very interesting round. off to the disco. And that's all it takes. If you let your opponent duplicate the rainbow orbs, you're in for a bad time.
Want to have your favorite character have a spotlight in MagicalDrop Masters? PayPal Lamel.
Bird Up finds a rainbow orb halfway through the match, unable to get the duplicate, but that is a massive clear.
He has the quota lead. This could go places.
Yeah, he got 2 very, very friendly ice clears in a row, and that will just catapult you to quota. And that's it. That's all he needed to get that round. Just a matter of surviving. Almost letting those lines hop out on the right side, and he can't get them away. What's cooking up on Templanza's side of the board? Templanza getting a little stuck in this opener.
Bird Up
accidentally burns the rainbow orb before he can get a chance to duplicate it, though Bird Up doesn't get a rainbow orb to duplicate either, so not too much of a loss. Oh, and then Bird Up with the unfortunate misdrop on the left side.
Alright.
So what's the story here? So when she wins, she turns into a happy wheel, but when she loses, she turns into a sad wheel.
She gets a flat tire.
I love the MagicalDrop cannon.
Oh, the MagicalDrop cannon is really funny because when you beat Wheel of Fortune in the story mode, she turns back into a baby.
As one does.
And it's especially funny because if you look really closely, the baby only has 4 fingers on each hand, or like 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand. But when she's fully grown, she has 4 fingers and a thumb. So
yeah, that's just how.
At some point in time, Fortune either grows an extra finger, or one of them is fake. We'll never know.
You think they would nip that in the bud? Like, isn't Japan really like sensitive about that kind of?
You're right. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things that could not be made today.
Well, considering we don't have anyone from the Yakuza on our announced team right now, I think we can best put a pin in this.
It's understood. Okay.
They are also one of the fan favorite characters. Another one of the
another one of the 6 voters.
Load tiers with a column down the middle.
I am surprised Bird Up actually managed to snatch a victory off quota in spite of being a good 10 pieces behind.
Yeah, one thing Bird Up is very good at is being aware of how many orbs he has left to quota. It's like the equivalent of screen watching in other puzzle games. He's very good at keeping track of the quota meter.
He'd make for a solid TGMer. You have to pay attention to your level stops.
Yeah, he's very good at cutting his chain when he has very close to the perfect number of orbs cleared. And so if it's close, Bird Up is very good at sneaking under you if you throw one too many chains.
I'm just surprised because, I can't imagine eyeballing how much you would both need and set off in a single clear or a chain series.
You can kind of think about it in rows. There's 7 orbs in each row, and you can kind of eyeball it as every 2 rows is 10. And then every subsequent row is like 10 more-ish.
Jupiter, you're like a decade late to that joke. Sorry.
What? Did I make a joke that I don't know
No. In chat.
Oh.
something. Wow.
Yeah, we just got a bunk Xerxes, and it only took until Lucy's finals.
His internet's finally back, so he's here to make up for all of the jokes he missed. I always forget Sun exists.
It's right behind the purple stuff. Yeah, I miss it too.
Okay, we have dupes on the yellow all clears. Now they're gone.
Yeah, duping on some of the low tiers is actually inadvisable because their patterns are easier to clear quickly if you just throw orbs in the right places.
Yeah.
And so the extra chain that the power-ups force you to do can often slow you down a lot.
It also looks like they hold on the animation for, like, before starting the next clear. So, like, you have a pause of, like, hey, reds, then they clear. So that can probably cost you.
It's like the absolute latest possible clear is the absolute latest possible clear is when the all clear orbs go off. So they are basically as slow as a clear can possibly be, and sometimes it only clears like 1 orb or 2 orbs, and so it can be a huge struggle if you're trying to go to quota quickly and you're being forced to watch 1 orb clear at a time. Alright, Bird Up coming out swinging on tower.
Yeah, this is a match point. Either or.
Xerxes, extremely Mario Tennis voice. Deuce.
Yeah, we haven't had very many close matches so far on stream, so I guess we were about due.
So,
not gonna jinx things any further. In the VR sense.
Alright, Bird Up on match point. I believe this would be a revenge upset. I'm pretty sure Templanza beat Xerxes, or beat Bird Up last time they played.
I personally love to have vengeance.
Yeah, about a year ago, Bird Up was complaining because in every bracket he hosted, he got 3rd place. It would be Rudolph and Wanpa trading back and forth for 1st, and then he would get 3rd place, and he was like, you know what? One of these days, I'm gonna break my 3rd place curse.
I'm gonna get 2nd place.
Little did you know. Little did you know you only had to play on a weekday.
Yeah. That was really the trick.
Yeah, you're getting 2nd place, and but the real funny was that the 3rd place curse was broken because a bunch of people showed up who could start beating you.
Yeah, that's really what it was. It was because people got better, which is honestly what I like, right? Like it would have been boring to just lose to the same 2 people and beat everybody else. I'm glad that a lot of folks have gotten stronger, and that I'm in these nail biters against Templanza and a lot of other folks. Scherzo, a bunch of people, like even like the tier of players below them all have the capability to beat me on a good day. So I feel really good about it and how the community's grown.
Yeah, it feels great to have that competitive Base, I would be remiss if I didn't say that Yoshi's Cookie recently got ranked play and is on Fightcade, and I spend most of my time in the NES lobby throughout the day, so go ahead and challenge me.
Yeah, come and play. Like, all of these games that there's like a couple of really passionate people about them, like eventually the scene will grow. And like people are going to become Yoshi's Cookie fanatics and start like pushing the top couple of people in that scene too. So I think it's really fun. I think what you guys are doing here with Puzzle Wednesday in general is just like really awesome for this community of folks, and that people get exposure to like these games that they'd never even heard of before. Like that whack ass penguin game we played, that was actually like a ton of fun. I was like beating the drum of penguin game to my friends, and they're like, "You sound like a crazy person." I was like, "I know." I don't care.
It's hard to reintegrate into normal society after years of this. Anyway,
Yeah, not to mention the few times that we've redefined the meta for Senno single-handedly.
Right.
Look, I've honestly considered buying a Senno board, but we're gonna get too far down that rabbit hole.
That was the first time Senno and board have been used in the same sentence.
I think that if you guys showed like the developers of Senno what you've done, they'd be like, "This is a crime," and we need to.
No, they would call the police immediately.
Okay, I will challenge Rudolph.
Grand finals time.
Yeah, grand finals. I took one in winners, so let's see if I can at least make that feat happen again.
All right.
And by one you mean one set.
I took one game.
Yeah, but this time it's going to be a set.
You gotta
If I'm taking one set, then why not take two?
You gotta do a bigger one.
So I'm gonna send the challenge. We'll see what it looks like. My hands are a little warmed up. I'm coming off of a win. I lost my magician match there, which is normally the death sentence, but I was able to kind of bounce back. I thought I had that fortune game too, but I choked that last round.
Yeah, Zersine brings up a good point. You've yet to take a game off of either of the A rankers on stream, right?
On stream, yeah. I have one set against Rudolph as a win off stream after a tournament where I came in like third or fourth. I was like, I'm challenging you, and I was finally able to take one, but it didn't matter. Nobody saw it except me. Okay, so we'll see if this is the time. I'm actually popping back in to say one more thing. If I ever take a set off him on stream, I hope it's next month.
Fair.
Yeah, that would be the time to do it.
That would be when it counts more. Looks like we oopsie goofed there for a second.
Oh,
I messed up and picked fool.
Dang, you weren't smurfing there? No sandbags?
Cuidado.
Cuidado indeed.
Look, I get it. I get Japanese BIOS is a lot a bit better. But I have a soft spot in my heart for Cuidado.
It would be okay if all of the characters had different voices, but the fact that every female character has the same voice just makes it a bit rough. And there's only like 2 male voices as well. There's like a high-pitched one and a lower one. Alright, I'm finally in.
Bird up taking first
round.
Quick first round. He's gonna have to keep up a lot of momentum though. He has a lot of rounds to win if he even wants a chance here.
Opting to save the power orb. Oh, but it clears itself automatically. How sad. Luckily, it cleared it. The match was every yellow orb on screen, so it wasn't too much of a waste. both.
Rune, I don't understand. What do you mean, bad voice town? I only say it as if, like, this game has some of the most grating puzzle game sound clips. I'll give you this. It's no Pokemon Puzzle League, at least.
I like how sometimes you're about to hear a magical flash come out, and then it's immediately erupted by Bakana!
Yeah, it's good.
Alright, Bird Up keeping it competitive. One thing to note, both of these players are on very similar controllers. I believe Rudolph uses keyboard, and Bird Up is on hitbox, so they both have very high ability potential. Unfortunately, Bird Up is stuck at the top of the board, struggling to find the back row clears. So he may have finally dug himself out. And actually, that puts him in the lead. Or, well, it's really close. He's not quite in the lead yet. Oh, and Rudolph just sneaks in. Some big back row clears of his own. Alright. The sun. Bird Up opting for the player 2 color. Sunburnt. Oh, here are these massive yellow clears Bird Up was talking about earlier. If you do a good job controlling what color you match the ice, the yellow orbs in the middle add up very quickly. So, Rudolph also off to the races with his own crafty color clears. Oh wow, Bird Up getting a little tangled up, can't find a clear and accidentally dies to pressure.
So people in the chat discussing, apparently Magician is James Pokemon from Team Rocket.
Correct.
Ah. The Japanese dub, of course.
I was gonna say, is this, like, not a common take? I thought I was throwing a cold one out there.
I don't know if I've ever listened to Pokemon's Japanese dub.
I think it's more of a hair thing.
For me it's aesthetic, but it could also match.
That's what you mean, not the PA. Alright, we're going to Hanged Man. I believe Bird Up took Hanged Man off of Rudolph in Winners Finals.
Jupiter, I need you to stop trying to tell children and babies that they need to grow up and suffer in the real world.
Bird Up finding a power-up orb this late in the round is very interesting. It's not often that you get to see neutral lines in this pattern, or in this matchup. Rudolph seems to have figured something out because he's going to quota now, and that puts Bird Up's strategy of I'm just gonna go cruise control and not die at risk. Uh-oh. Bird Up struggling to find a way to melt the ice.
Oh boy.
Gaining a lot of uncomfortable rows on his board, and dies to pressure.
This could close it out for tournament.
And unfortunately for Bird Up, he did not recognize that this is a start with a power-up if you pull down sufficient lines, so... Rudolph is going to have a very large quote advantage, but it does not matter. Rudolph, with a quick 3-0, says, I want to go to sleep, because it is late.
Understandable. It's absolutely why he's the invited guest. One of two there. Anyway.
The trick doesn't work twice, okay, apparently. I'll sleep on
it. Once he learned that you were going for quota, he was just like, oh, I'll just quota him faster.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's okay.
I'm like rewatching it on stream now, and I found like these two like really weird hiccups in the pattern that really threw me off. Just some misdrops. That's okay.
Well, you'll get them tomorrow. Anyway,
I'm putting the change into the misdrop drawer.
Yeah, I saw the one where it looked like you were like holding 3 greens.
Yeah.
And there was a green to your right, and then you moved left and dropped them.
Yep. Oh well.
That is it for the Magidoro Masters online qualifiers. There is going to still be one more tomorrow IRL at Genesis 8, which
on Saturday, yeah. Saturday at Genesis 8 at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you want to see the best Super Smash Bros. Players in the world battle and then also hang out with me and get a free sticker, you can come to the San Jose Convention Center and take place in our Magical Drop tournament that will be going on there. They have medals and everything. It'll be nice.
One sticker?
All right.
When you come to Red Perry, I've saved some stickers just for you when you come to Red Perry.
Thank you.
Adorable.
We
will be back this time next month, May 14th, with the proper Magidoro Masters Finals. I believe it's 2 p.m. EDT?
It should be 2 p.m. EDT on May 14th for the finale, and I'll post all this information into the Discord.
Cool. As for the rest of the April Fool's saga for Puzzle Wednesday, we have 3 more silly rules brackets throughout the month. This coming Saturday, 8:30 p.m. EDT, we have Tetris 2 for the NES, which, we're getting close enough. I can drop the bit. We're doing funny Dr. Mario-esque clone, and absolutely silly game. You should check that out. The following Wednesday, we are back, not with the X Prime Balance Patch, but we are doing Super Puzzle Fighter 2X for matchmaking service. It is the Dreamcast version, and in that we are actually doing the subset rule Puzzle Fighter Z, which takes on a couple of qualities that make it more in line with Panel Depon. So I really don't think anyone's been labbing that game to a meaningful degree. Lord knows we're not going to know how to commentate it. Everyone's just in for the vibes and hoping for the best. And to round out the month, the Guru Lobby has finally struck its hugest W. We are doing Guruin for the mystery bracket for April Fools. I believe that's it for our current silly game lineup, and thank you so much for tuning in tonight, guys. We're going to check out and see if there's a friendly puzzle scene stream to raid really quick.
Yeah, I'd like to thank, again, you, Juicy, for hosting this, Deca and Kayat for sticking around on commentary all night, drawing some cool art, and then also Trashboat and Omega IB Smart for running the bracket on Fightcade and in Discord. There's a lot of thankless work that goes on behind the scenes, so I want to just make sure that you guys know that we really appreciate you here in the Magical Drop scene.
I'm glad to be
Happy
here.
to help.
Yeah, thank you.
Do me a favor while I'm still combing through our options here, but go ahead and link the newest Kayat art really quick.
Oh yeah, for sure. Drop it into the chat.
Tying it back to Puzzle Fighter, we're gonna go ahead and raid local strong Puzzle Fighter guy Lucentai